Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night. It's freshman night. It's week 6 here at Runeterra Academy. Up in Division 1 this week, we have Zenigma Unknown on the blue side going up against the monstrous 5-0 Kingpin Gaming on the red side. My name is Tajgar, or Taj for short, joined tonight by the wonderful Wee Wizard on the desk. Wizard, how are you feeling coming into this matchup?
What is up, Taj? I'm really excited for this game. We've got first and second seeds
Mhm.
in Division One, and I'm excited. These games are going to be absolutely fantastic, especially on Kingpin's side. Watch out for the mid laner, young rich boy.
Oh, yes.
He's all over the place. He's been winning MVPs 4 out of 5 weeks. He's top, CS lead, CS boards, highest gold difference of 15, highest KDA. He's a monster.
Yep, sitting at a 9.77 KDA with a total roll rating of 94.84. Take note, 3 of the top 4 currently players in the entire freshman class, according to roll rating, are on Kingpin Gaming. Their mid laner, their support, and their bot laner. So this is a very fearsome team coming out of the gates. Coming out of the gate strong at the beginning of the season and continuing it. Like I said, 5-0 currently. Zenigma Unknown sitting 4-1. So they could really turn the tide here if they tie up 5-1. Getting into the ban phase, or champ select, note that because of a substitution, the side of Zenigma Unknown have lost their first 3 bans. Kingpin Gaming's first 3 bans will be the Garen, the Vel'Koz, and hovering a Fiddlesticks, it will be the Fiddlesticks banned away. No Amumu ban.
Yeah, definitely interesting considering Zenu is blue side and they are going to be picking up the misfortune, starting to see the rounds in popularity. It's one of those flavor of the weeks. At one point it was, I think, Senna in the bot lane was the flavor, and now it is Misfortune's time to rise, and we've been seeing her everywhere.
That we have. Even in pro play, if you watch Worlds the past few days, you're seeing Misfortune picked up there. The Jhin will be the answer for the side of Kingpin Gaming. I wouldn't be surprised if we see mid lane come out early, a pick for Kingpin, because young rich boy loves their Malzahar. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they want to get that locked in before it can be possibly banned away in the second phase of bans, when Zenigma does have their bans.
Yeah, and Kingpin coming into this match already favored, right? And as you said, there's the Malzahar. Zenigma losing their first 3 bans is going to be absolutely detrimental to this game. Even though they do have the Misfortune of Mumu bot lane. So it doesn't get more meta than that. And we'll have to see if young rich boy on his fabled Malzahar is going to be able to save this game. If the bot lane happens to lose to this Misfortune of Mumu. But Zenigma see their Malzahar and they say, okay, we're just going to pick Galio.
Yep, so I'm expecting that Galio mid lane. I'm also thinking this Amumu might be going jungle instead of support, simply based on champion selections. We have seen that go jungle to TJXYZ44. They played a game last week on the Amumu, but their support has favorite champions like the Vel'Koz, which was banned away, Taric, which is still on the table, and sometimes the Thresh. And we see a tank locked in for the side of Kingpin now in the Dr. Mundo.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Dr. Mundo is one of the most interesting sort of tanky champions in the game because he's technically classified more as a juggernaut. Just because, he's lacking in the hard CC, right? If you compare him to something like a Cho'Gath, for example, Dr. Mundo has no CC besides his Q slow. So in terms of utility, Dr. Mundo is very, very low on the list. But in terms of damage potential, because he has so many health scalings on his abilities and he builds tank items which all have health, Dr. Mundo has a pretty high damage output in terms of gameplay. So when you pick Mundo, you're less drafting for a defensive peel tank and more of an offensive tank carry. So hopefully we see this probably going to be in the top lane, piloted by Top Baller, and hopefully he's going to be able to generate a lead or his power spikes and run through the back line with his unstoppable nature.
Mm-hmm. Something that just come to mind, but I forget what it was. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You can kind of, I would say you can kind of afford to go with the less CC heavy tank when you have a pick like the Malzahar in the mid lane.
Right.
You had some of the strongest CC in the game with the press of a button with that ultimate.
With
And then
set, second round bans have
Ooh.
come through. So we see Mordekaiser and Malphite from the side of Kingpin, and Jarvan Morgana from the side of Zenigma. I do like the Jarvan ban. Jarvan is definitely one of the more popular junglers at the moment, and for good reason. Although it does seem like Zenigma opted for the Trundle in the jungle.
Kingpin opting for it. That turned into the jungle.
Sorry, Kingpin.
And now there's a Lucian locked in for something about unknown. So
Lucian top.
I think it's Lucian top or Lucian mid.
Someone lost their heaven privileges.
At least it's not a Vayne. Okay.
Yeah.
Which would have been very, very good into the Mundo, all things considered. But this is now throwing me off. We have a lot of flex options. There, I think that's Galio
Okay. So
Lucian
it's
mid.
Yeah. So your Amumu jungle's prediction, I think, was correct. It's going to be a Lucian mid, and the Shen top versus the Dr. Mundo.
Yep. Which,
I mean, Shen into Mundo, you're not going to win lane necessarily. It's possible, right? Because the Shen taunt cooldown is technically lower than the Dr. Mundo passive.
Yep.
So you could, bait out the passive and then re-engage later. But, if you're a Shen, you don't have to play for lane, right? That's the beauty of Shen. You can lose lane gracefully, and then you can buff up your Misfortune, right? Because if Misfortune's sitting in the middle of a team fight and she shoots her bullet time, and then all of a sudden, Trundle starts dashing in on her, Shen. Stand United on the Misfortune, saves the day. She can dish out her damage relatively protected, especially if you have, Galio peeling as well. So overall, you have a pretty defensive and offensive comp from the side of Zenigma. You'll love to see the double global ultimates from the Galio and the Shen. That's always a strong combo to have, especially in these lower elo brackets where players are less likely to have as good vision, right? So all of a sudden, you're in a side lane, and then you have Galio and then Shen ulting in, and suddenly you're 1v5 right in the side lane. So it's definitely the picks like those that are low risk, high reward, where just in your kit you have this cross map mobility. If one of your teammates gets caught out by a Malzahar, right, all of a sudden Galio ulting in, Shen ulting in, it suddenly turns the tide of the battle just like a snap of your fingers.
That it does. And then oh no, that's not what I want to say. Dang it. Okay, I do like the Lucian potential into and the Misfortune potential into triple tanks, because you got a possibility of there are 2 Kraken Slayers into a Nautilus, a Trundle, and a Mundo, and suddenly their front line isn't so beefy anymore. Granted, we have seen Lucians go, the Gale Force route a lot, which can help into these, but and then you have a Shen dealing that percentage max health damage with those Q attacks. And all in all, I think even though this comp was picked kind of before the tanks were locked in by Kingpin, I'm kind of saying Kingpin they could have drafted maybe a bit more optimally going into these picks that they do see.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a very valid point. Having this tank buster potential on the side of Zenigma could potentially come back to bite Kingpin, right? Because if you have the Nautilus Trundle Dr. Mundo combo, those are all sort of, I want to say that they're tanks that aren't known for being the tankiest, if that makes sense. Apart from Nautilus, I would say Dr. Mundo Trundle, because Nautilus has his W shield. But on the side of Dr. Mundo Trundle, you have this health stacking, right? That sort of bruisers do. And you have this pseudo tankiness, right? With Trundle, with his ultimate. But you don't have the sort of abilities that tanks utilize to actually make themselves tanky, right? Like Nautilus Shield or non Shield. or Cho'Gath's ultimate, right?
Yep.
Things like these, Dr. Mundo and Trundle don't necessarily have, and they're gonna get double, penetrated by Misfortune and Lucian, right? They build LDR second item.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, you're not a tank anymore, right? You're just you're just a melee. You're just a melee sponge, right? And they
Mhm.
have scissors, and you're just a sponge. So you're just gonna get cut. Um, that being said, I do want to say Kingpin Gaming is lacking in the side of DPS,
Yep.
because you have a Jin who is obviously not known for his sustained damage, right? He's more of a burst
Mhm.
ADC. Yeah, if he gets multiple cycles of reloads, he can do a lot of damage. But in the likelihood, like looking at Zenigma's comp, is Jin gonna get more than 4 shots?
Yeah.
Probably not, right? They're so dive oriented. They have such high DPS with the Misfortune Lucian, and the engage potential with Galio and Mumu. It's hard seeing this Jin having the freedom in a team fight to get multiple cycles off.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Um, and then with the die potential, was kind of like, is there really much peel anyway for that Jin? Because Jin
Right.
is going to be your Jin. Okay, Trundle can dish out some damage with Divine Sunder, press the attack. Sure, say what you want. You said Mundo is more of a offensive oriented tank in a way rather than defensive oriented. But it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, you have the Nautilus with the hook. Unless Nautilus is going to sit next to the Jin, ready to press R when it comes to the engage, then Jin honestly does not have a lot of help. In the backline because Mundo
Yeah.
and Trundle are going to be stepping up. Nautilus has the hook and the depth charge. He wants to go in, unless you have Malzahar just sitting there ready to press R. But then if
Yeah.
a Mumu comes in and presses R, nobody can do anything, and the team fight is just going to fall apart from there.
Yeah. I mean, building on that point, if you're Kingpin, if you want to engage, what do you need? You need Nautilus to land the hook, right? Otherwise, your options are extremely limited and low range, right? The only thing you have are maybe a Trundle pillar or, Malzahar flash ults, I guess,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to get spicy. But, just based on their comp, they need Nautilus to go in. And when Nautilus is going in, all of a sudden, Jin and Malzahar, they're all alone because Mundo and Trundle don't have the peel options that an actual tank would. As we were talking about, they're more damage oriented and frontline oriented than peel oriented. So from the side of Kingpin, they sort of drafted a comp that if they go in, they have no way of getting out or even realistically keeping their carries alive to win that fight if they go in. So if you're the side of Kingpin, you probably need to get there early, set up vision control, make sure that they're coming into you, and when they're doing that, then you can have Mundo Trundle frontline. You can have Nautilus playing, I wanted to say like I was trying to think of like a defensive game, and the only thing that came to mind was capture the flag, but that's not really defensive. I guess protect the president kind of works on Malzahar and Jin. But then, if that's happening, then Nautilus is not going to be in range to CC the Misfortune or the Lucian. And they should just be getting free hits on your front line. And as we were talking about, that's not going to end well for the Mundo Trundle, especially once we get 2 to 3 items on these ADCs. So all in all, and that's assuming it's an even footing, right? So if Kingpin managed to get a lead early, if Jin is all of a sudden 5-0,
Yeah.
things change, right? And if Malzahar gets a lead, we were talking about Young Rich Boy has a very good record in this mid lane as well as this bot lane, right? Both Jin and Nautilus are known for being very, very efficient, and we just need to keep an eye, right? And if these teams play around their compositions in an even footing, I think Zenigma is slightly favored, but you never know what happens. It is League of Legends.
That is incontestably factual, my good sir. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna agree. I am gonna want to give it to Unknown in the straight up, even footing 5v5.
Yeah.
And again, it might be Kingpin not even looking for that kind of fight, but time will tell.
If
Kingpin
they, yeah.
practically on a knife's edge when it comes to these executions in the team fights. It's going to be Wombo Combo Mania. Big dive for the side of Nameless, or not Nameless, sorry, for Zenigma Unknown. Love to see what happens. 3 seconds left on Spec Delay. We'll bring you game 1 of this best of 3 series right after this short break. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. It is week 6 of Runeterra Academy's freshman class. We have number 1 in Division 1 and the freshman class as a whole, Kingpin Gaming on the red side, going up against Zenigma Unknown on the blue side. It's going to be Silver Cora locked up and taken down. First blood to somebody who you probably don't want to give it to, Young Rich Boy, playing out of their mind this entire semester so far. Gonna recall Yoink,
Ooh,
gimme that mana crystal
Sapphire Crystal.
and
You know, I
sapphire
was
crystal.
actually I was expecting a Dark Seal,
Dark
to be
Steel, yeah.
honest. Um, Unfortunately, a Mumu not gonna be able to get this for free. Gonna be Chains goes wide, but don't worry, he has another one.
If it's not
There it
this,
is.
but that spell immunity for the
Mundo
doctor.
pass.
Just gonna let him go
Imagine if he
replace.
hit the first one. I think Mundo
Yep.
would have been dead there, 100%.
I'm assuming that was a flash predict. I thought top baller would just
Maybe.
flash down toward Raptors, but it was not to be. All right.
But good thing that top baller checked because that red buff is safe for now. And with junglers starting on opposite sides of the map, should be no action for the first couple of times. And smite on the blue buff by the Mandon, a little unusual.
Yeah.
Usually you see junglers saving the smite for the Grom,
Mhm.
but it's no big deal.
Well, it is a Mumu who normally, doesn't get that full clear on their first round through. So maybe they're trying to make sure that they can in a way, because they're going to get the sustain from the smite on the blue, then the sustain from the Gromp after that as well.
Oh, look at this. Trundle invading the red.
Ooh.
What great, I love to see it, right? Amumu didn't actually go top for the invade, but there was no way for Kingpin to know that. So Trundle was just like, okay, you can have my red. I'm going to go take yours. But now Amumu didn't actually commit for the invade. So now he's going over to his bot side, expecting them to still be there. But his camps are going to be gone. Trundle is going to have yoinked them away. And he just now is coming to the realization, uh-oh, my red buff is gone. And now I'm going to be down, 12, 16 CS because of Luxor's pathing.
Yeah, they're beautifully done by Luxor. A Kingpin off to a great start as things go so far. With Luxor working ahead, we have the first blood on Young Rich Boy. Let's see how they can all capitalize on this. Kingpin does have Prio at the moment in all 3 lanes, which will just give Luxor even more room to do as they want. Possible action down here bottom river, but no. Mandan is just going to seed that Scuttle Crab and just hope that this is not going to be a double Scuttle for the Trundle.
Yeah, I mean that's the brilliance of having this Cryo in the bot lane. Mandan has to succeed the Scuttle just because his bot lane is pushed under turret. Now Young Rich Boy having to move.
Yeah, there's a flash bandage toss. This is going to land flash by Young Rich Boy over the wall to get away for the time being. Mindful is going to flash forward and land the ignite, and those auto attacks. The bandage toss is going to keep the Trundle locked down for the time being, but Laxer is going to stay on top of the Lucian. There's a trade 1-for-1 in the mid lane.
Oh, looks short should have kept going. Can he still get it though? He has the red buff.
Ooh.
Oh, the bandage toss.
Happy feet by Mandan, but Laxer still is moving quickly.
Oh!
There's still looking in the top lane. Elite Games going to take down top baller after both expending their own flashes. Now the top laner can rotate down and try to help their jungler take the Scuttle, but I think it's too little too late unless...
He has the smite, doesn't need it.
Bandage toss lands. Elite Games going to come out with the taunt as well. Laxer in a tough spot, forced to flash away. Young Rich Boy is here to back him up. A beautiful double silence. Going to buy the space and the time for Laxer to get out of there alive.
Oh, but Mandan's not. Yeah, I think it's a good idea for Mandan not to go for the red buff here. Just because he doesn't have mid prio, he doesn't have top prio. Mundo's coming back to lane fluidity. So we're poor in a little bit of trouble though.
Yeah,
He's going to live this time.
Yep, nice follow up there. You have an incredibly long CC chain potential down the bot lane between the Nautilus and Jhin. Hook, root, into root, and depth charge once they hit level 6 as well. So yeah, Unknown's bot lane just going to have to play around that carefully.
Yep, and pretty equal goals going around here. We did see Shen picking up the solo kill versus Top Baller. As you're, oh, whoa,
Oh,
big play
what
by
a
Angry
hook
Llama,
from Andrew Lama, but that's
very ball.
a little deep under tower to really go
Yeah,
in.
yeah. he hooked it. It was like, oh wait, just kidding. I didn't actually mean it. But we did see Shen abusing that narrow window where the Mundo has his passive down, and he can get that solo kill.
Yeah. And yeah, especially early on, just
Yeah,
when he gets those enhanced Q auto attacks, when the sword travels through the enemy champions, that's going to chunk Top Baller so much.
yeah,
Another
absolutely.
taunt. Here they come again.
Again, and the beauty of it is he's abusing as much as he can pre-level 6, right? Because
Mhm.
that's the main weakness of Shen, is that once champions are level 6, Shen has a utility ult. He cannot use it in the 1v1. So usually level 6 Shen power drops, but other champions get a power spike, right? Like
Mhm.
once Mundo hits level 6, he gets a huge power spike just because he has so much health regen in the 1v1 potential that Shen just doesn't have from his ultimate. So once Mundo hits level 6, Shen should start looking around the map for possible plays. And meanwhile, while I was blabbering, Trundle snuck the Cloud Drake. I didn't know it, and it looks like Blue Side didn't know it either.
Yep.
Zenigma just as I guess you didn't have bot prio, so not much you can do in that case.
Yep. I know. Elite Games is now 2 levels up on Top Baller. Oh, just make it 1. Top Baller just
Yeah,
level hit
full
level 6
level.
on minions. But
That is
levels.
the top lane experience. One death, and all of a sudden your whole game is messed up.
Yep. Uh, so Fleet Games about, or sorry, not Fleet, Elite Games, uh, sitting about 6 CS lead. We have a much bigger lead in the bot lane. Spunyan up on TJ by about 20 CS. The mid lane is practically even, and Laxter,
Wow,
unsurprisingly,
Trundle coming
in
for a dive?
there. Oh, yeah, Laxter's there. Does have level 6 ready to go.
Oh no, he wants the red buff. Nope.
Dredge line will come out. A taunt does not land. It's TJ rooted up, but no full follow up from the team.
Meanwhile, Mundo on top side.
Is getting ganked. It's going to be Mandan. Mandan does not have Curse the Sad Mummy ready to go yet.
Oh,
The
dodges
bandage
it.
toss will miss. Top baller was forced to pop R there in case things did go south.
And Trundle gonna take second red buff, second blue side red buff of the game. Yummy, yummy. And Mundo, or sorry, and Amumu not even going for the Rift Herald here. That's just going to be a free play for Kingpin, right? They force some flashes bot. Trundle gets 2 camps, and Mundo didn't even die topside.
Mm-hmm. And you see the CS difference right now between the two junglers. Laxter just, free reign in all of the Mumu's jungle.
Yeah, and it's big now. And then you realize Trundle has his whole jungle still available
Yep.
with the red buff coming up quite soon because he took it a little bit later. So it should be coming up around 30 seconds to a minute. So Trundle has a huge advantage and great pillar.
Young Rich Boy is going to flash
Oh,
forward and land the R, but he have to stand united to try to keep Lucian alive. Is going to deter the all-in from the mid-jungle duel of Kingpin. That would be...
but just like that, right? You force the flash from the Lucian, you force the stand united. All of a sudden, Shen is losing. What is this? Like 2 to 3 waves topside. That's like 10 minions, and Mundo is probably going to get a plate as well.
Boys getting locked in mid lane, however, and Mindfoe is going to find the kill with the help of Mandan and the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Just going to put basically even things up there in mid lane. Yep,
Wow,
literally
absolutely.
even, all things considered.
Yeah, great gank from the Mandan, getting a second kill onto Mindfox. He is going to be very big. Already had 1 kill, so now he has 2. And with this misfortune being a little bit behind, I think it's actually a good thing they decided to pick up an AD champion in the mid lane just to shred these tanks. But Mundo Trundle, they suspect they're coming to check.
Yep.
And with the Nautilus here, this is
Ready
a
to go.
fight they
Mundo
can't
does
win.
have R. Trundle R is still on cooldown. In goes Mindfoe, trying to get out of there as Top Baller's going to stay on top. Top Baller's going to fall. Lucian now turning their attention to the Trundle. Nautilus there to back him up, as is the mid laner. It's a double kill for Young Rich Boy. Snowball is maybe starting to
Oh, it
roll.
reset. That's so sad.
And, Rift Herald, started up by the side of Zenigma Unknown, will now be surrendered over to the side of Kingpin. And with mid laner and jungler fallen, it looks like they're not going to be able to trade anything in exchange.
Definitely a good fight by Kingpin. Great rotation by the Angry Llama. Jin pretty safe on the bot side by himself. And having that Nautilus in the top side just secured this objective take and securing the Kingpin's lead.
Yep. Sitting at about a 1.3k gold lead at the moment. Elite Games in a tough spot. There's the Shadow Dash coming out just to try to buy some space. As a flash ready to go is going to be used over the wall. And we'll get out of there alive.
Absolutely, and with the Infernal Dragon coming up in 20 seconds, we're going to have to see, is Zenigma going to contest? If they are going to, people are looking over. Trundle running down the river. He wants to be there as well. But, good vision in the river from Kingpin.
Zenigma was there first. There's going to be Rift Herald summon mid lane to apply some extra pressure. Try to get the attention turned towards the mid lane from that dragon. TJ all alone down the bot lane, but looks like they're going to be doing all right for now. And the side of Zenigma Unknown support and the jungler are once again rotating down toward this dragon pit.
Yeah, and for this dragon, we do see Shen has the stand unit available and teleport, while Mundo does not have teleport available for a little bit. So it could be a potential 5v4 at this dragon fight if Kingpin decide to contest.
Angry Llama is recalling on vision. We see Mandan set up next to the dragon. Yep, as soon as that support recalls, it's the green light for the side of Zenigma Unknown. Bot lane rotating up. Laxter is up clearing his own wolves, and looks like this dragon will go uncontested over to the side of Zenigma Unknown.
I think it's a good idea, just because Lucian is so far ahead. He has his mythic already. First mythic on the map, Kraken Slayer. As we were talking about, he did offer the Kraken Slayer over the Gale Force just for that extra frontline shredding potential. And Malzahar right behind with the Leandri's Anguish, of course, but for that map or for that dragon play, Lucian having the only mythic on the map just gives Zenigma so much power in terms of having that completed mythic.
Mm-hmm. And unless I'm wrong, I think the Misfortune is also building towards the Kraken Slayer. I think yeah, because
it could be either. I think they have the same build path. Gale Force and Kraken Slayer.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just have to see. And the Gale Force could work well, especially into the Nautilus.
Is that thing still in the game with the Kraken Slayer bullet time? Oh, we'll talk about it later.
There's going to be a big engage in the bot lane, Knight ticking away.
Wow, does he live? No.
Flash heal gets him out of there alive. Now going to channel R because Lexer is here. A beautiful pillar is going to force a flash out of the Misfortune. Fourth shot will land, but still just about half health staying united being channeled. Angry Llama joining the fight as well. Depth charge onto the Misfortune. Going to catch 3 in the knockup. Lexer is being beaten away, however, by this Shen. It's going to be 2 kills for the side of Zenigma Unknown. 1 answered by Young Rich Boy, the mid laner. Angry Llama trying to get out of there alive, but Lucian's going to run them down and finish them off. In comes Mandan with the beautiful Curse of Sad Mummy, going to find 2. 4 down for the side of Kingpin. And what a turn here in the bot lane, bot side jungle, in favor of the side of Zenigma Unknown.
And that we were talking about the champs, like that is the stand united pressure, right? Misfortune got caught out. Stand united comes in. Yeah, Misfortune still died, but coming into the fight just like that, bought that little bit of time needed for Mumu to get into position, for Lucian to rotate over, and all of a sudden the fight turns on its head and Zenigma get the advantage.
Yep. And on the back of that, hey, killed Misfortune. Hey, we'll take that fast back. Second Kraken Slayer on the team completed on Misfortune. And when one of them is on this 4-2-0 Lucian, those frontliners are going to be probably dropping pretty quick. However, an Ocean Soul will be in play this game. And that could be, the
Yeah,
counter to these Kraken Slayers, or could make things even worse for Kingpin if the Amumu, the Shen, and the Galio get their hands on that.
yeah, I think this Ocean Soul is pretty great for both teams because both of them seem to be looking for these extended fights, and having that Ocean Soul could be the difference.
Yeah. Now in the top lane, here comes a gank out of Laxer. The beautiful pillar is going to keep Elite on the red side of the lane. And it looks like this is going to be end of story for the Shen. It will shut down, going over to top baller. Action in the bot lane. TJ stepping up, trying to bring down Spunyan. Spunyan brought very low. Bullet time is going to miss just barely. A depth charge channeled. Silver Core will not be able to secure the kill because of the dredge line out of Angry Llama. Teleport channeled. It's going to be Young Rich Boy joining the fight down in the bot lane. Lucian is here as well. It's a 3v3. A hero's entrance is going to buy Silver Core some space and get out of there
More
alive.
like Hero's Exit.
Yes, you did there. And all in all, very nearly a kill, but bloodless in the end down the bot lane.
Yep, very good for Zenigma, forcing out Young Rich Boy's teleport while not actually losing any team members. However, for the side of Kingpin, Spunyan living a second time. I mean, technically he died the first time after the extended fight, but in the initial engage, he survived. So, well played. As an ADC, that's pretty respectable. Surviving as a 1v2 is no easy task.
But especially on an immobile ADC like the Jhin.
Right.
Now they have a Gale Force, which is going to give them, at least a little bit of mobility, technically. But that'll be that. Next dragon in 40 seconds is going to be the first ocean of the game. Rift Herald is up. I am seeing pings on it. I see pings coming out from both teams. It looks like the side of Zenigma Unknown want this dragon. The side of Kingpin may turn their eyes to the Rift Herald. We'll have to see. More mythics rolling in. We have 2 Sunfire Aegis completed, 1 on the Mundo, 1 on the Amumu, and the Locket all done on the Galio.
Yep, it looks like Kingpin are giving up this third dragon. At least they got the second one, so they are not in any rush, I would say, to worry about dragons necessarily, because this would only be Zengwa's second dragon, so no pressure for Soul until 10 minutes from now, and that's the problems of tomorrow. But in the terms of that, you can get the Rift Herald, push top turret. You already got first turret mid, so you don't get the extra gold from it, but you do open up the map a little bit more, get this Mundo out of laning phase, and potentially push even further in this top side with this Rift Herald. They could just keep going.
Yep,
because all of Zenigma is in this bot lane.
It's a mirror play by the side of Zenigma. We have 4 down here in the bot lane for the blue side, 3 for the red side up in top.
Oof, did he take it?
Yep.
No, he didn't get He didn't get either of them. Oh, this Jhin, so close.
But there's suddenly in the base is Kingpin. Shelly's going to get the 3rd charge off. Top inhibitor is going to fall. Mandan and caught in a bad spot near the Dragon Pit. Rooted up. Spunny looking to finish up that kill. Depth charge expended. Christian said, I'm just going to buy some time, but it is going to be enough for the stand. United Man does not have ultimate ready to go. There comes a Shen. There's a beautiful taunt. It's going to be Elite Games finish off Spunyan. Angry Llama suddenly finds themselves in the wrong place at a very wrong time. They're going to fall to the Lucian. Lucian feeling very good about themselves currently in this game. Flash is forced out from the jungler of the side of Kingpin. Mindful continue to step up. Their own offensive flash will be channeled. Top baller trying to stay on top of him to help the turret to secure that kill, but will it be enough? Yes, it will. 600 gold for the shutdown. Hero's entrance coming very late, but mid-tier 1 is going to fall for Kingpin. A flash forced out of the support from Unknown. Looks like that'll be end of things in the mid lane.
Yeah, and throughout that fight, you can just see the pure damage coming out from Zenigma on these carry champions. It just hurts so much to these frontliners. They are just struggling to match up with the damage. And Mundo going for this Thornmail second with no way to proc it, definitely going to hurt him a little bit in the long run. I see a lot of players do this, and I don't completely agree with it, going for Thornmail second item. It's actually gold inefficient to do that. It's more efficient to, if you need the Grievous, which you don't actually need this game, right? Take a look at Zenigma's composition. who's healing? Nobody's healing, right? There's literally zero healing on the side of Zenigma. Um, and with that said, instead of Thormo, he could have a full um, what's it called, Randuin's, and how useful would that be, right? Against Lucian, all those auto attacks, Misfortune when she's auto attacking, and you get more armor, and overall you got a useful passive, right? Dormel does not have a useful passive to Mundo at all, especially into a pure zero healing comp where even the 40% Grievous of getting auto attack doesn't actually help you at all.
Yep.
So, that being said, probably not going to matter that much, but maybe. You never know.
Yep. We'll have to see. Looks looking like Mindfoe on the Lucian going for the Blade of the Ruin King. Second item. TJ on the Misfortune, the Lord Dominic's Regards. Well, we're certainly not surprised to see the LDR coming out, but it seems like a throwback build with the Bork on the Lucian. But I think it works fine going up against these tanky champions. You got that bonus max health percentage physical damage, and it's going to give you some healing, which is great against a team with no DPS. Because if the burst doesn't kill you, you're just going to heal it right back up.
Yeah, so this Borg is going to be shredding through these tanks, definitely.
All right, there's depth charge onto Mindfoe. Young Rich Boy flashed forward, but not in range. There's the Nether Grasp. Kill is going to go over to Malzahar. That's just
the outplay button.
Yep. It wasn't as clean as it could be. Young Rich Boy flashed and then kind of had to, walk a few steps to get in range for the RA. Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to come out.
I guess just to clear the wave.
I'm assuming that Mando was predicting some sort of dive, expecting a dredge line to come out. Llama, but it was not to be.
And with this dragon coming up in 30 seconds, not having the Curse of the Sad Mummy available could come back to bite him. However, taking a look at the gold, we see that Kingpin are sitting on a lot of gold. We see Jin sitting on 1,800, Malzahar sitting on 1,400, while all of Zenigma, just reset. They spent all their gold. They're coming back. 2 completed items, right? Misfortune has the Lord Dominic's Regard, so she is extremely strong at the moment. But Angry Llama may be caught out here.
Yep, Mandan is staying on top of the bandage tosses. Here comes Mindfoe. Look at that damage coming through. Support is down. Like you said, sitting on gold is Young Rich Boy. No time to recall and try to spend that. Well, they do have teleport, so if they really want to, they could. But this dragon is here, and the time is now for the fight, unless the side of Kingpin want to give it over.
Yeah, and I think giving it over is the right play. They still have Elite Gamings in the top side with the Stand United Ultimate. However, this is not good for Kingpin, because this is going to be Zenigma's 3rd dragon, setting up them for for Ocean Soul in 5 minutes.
They are, and Laxter is way out in the blue side jungle, but we have the entirety of Zenigma Unknown rotating up toward that top side. So this could get very ugly very quickly for the Trundle. They see him. He's on vision. Elite Gaming is going to try to take the short way home and catch him out. Total miss, however. And looks like Baron is not the play at the moment, unsurprisingly.
Yep, and just kind of interesting to see this Misfortune having 150 gold bounty, even though being 0 and 1. It could just be the CS difference, right? She's up 40 CS.
Which is not what we saw earlier in the game. We saw Jin up a bit more with lane prio, but now just on the back of the solution, things have shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. And the gold's still pretty much even. We do see Kingpin with a 1k gold advantage just because of CS differences in the mid and top lane. But take a look at this. Amumu actually came back from that early lead deficit in terms of CS.
Yep,
up 6, despite Trundle messing with him around in the beginning of the game. Taking his red buff and Raptors, taking the red buff a second time, and Amumu prevailed. Yeah, prevailed. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep. All right. So now we talked about in draft how we with the team comp of Kingpin game, we want to see these early objective setups with these frontliners and all that's ready to go. But we really have yet to see that. So far, it's been at the uh-oh. All right, Elite Games going to try to stay on top of Spunny. There's a taunt going to land. Mandy with the Crusade Mummy just to ensure the kill is going to go over. With the ADC falling, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of force in any manner coming out from the side of Zenigma Unknown. They want to fight right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Spunyan walking in blind, even into his own jungle, right? You gotta be careful when there's no vision, you know, your support's not around, and you just walk right into a Shenobumu. That's gonna be enough CC. Even with Gale Force, you're not gonna be able to escape.
Nope. Elite Games up on the sideline doesn't stand united, ready to go as the side of Zenigma
Oh,
Unknown.
wow, the Baron damage.
Baron. Staying united channel immediately just to get over there. Top baller sitting in the wings. But this Baron is getting absolutely melted.
Yes, that's double Kraken Slayer.
Yep. And a completed Bork and an LDR. But there's really no backline access for the side of Kingpin to try to turn the tables in a front to back. The Misfortune and Lucian are basically going to have a field day. Right? There's a depth charge going to land onto Manon, a root as well. There goes a bullet time. However, there's a beautiful taunt coming out from the Silver Cora. Teleport being channeled. It's Young Rich Boy. Mindful versus Laxter. I'm putting my money on the Lucian. I'm going to get my money in there as well to have fallen for the side of Kingpin. Kingpin. But it's going to be Mindful caught way out front over there in the back. Can't, you're strong, but you can't 1v2 a Jin and a Malzahar with R ready to go.
Wait, did Mandan just... What did he curse this? Did he curse the side mummy someone, or did he just do it on air? Was I looking somewhere else? Oh. It looked like he was in a bush and they just pressed R on nothing. But I don't know if that was just... Maybe it was Mundo? I don't know. Anyway, that was a pretty great fight from the side of Zenigma. Turned that gold lead right on its head, 1.5k gold lead, right back at him. And, it's just the strength of these AD carries, right? You have the Misfortune and the Lucian. We saw how much damage that bullet time did. It melted the Mundo. It melted Angry Llama. There's just... Look, Misfortune is level 14. Angry Llama is level 10. Like, it is just... It hurts. It hurts just a little bit.
And Spunyan is 11?
Yeah. And, I mean, somehow Misfortune is actually higher level than the Lucian is, which is so interesting. It could be because, she is up, like...
Look at that CS.
60 CS. Yeah, exactly. Almost 10 per minute. Very, very good stuff coming out from Chigji.
Yep, all right.
Chigji?
Most definitely fight here. Manning going to go in, flashing forward. Has not yet pressed R. There's a beautiful double taunt coming out from Silver Core. It's going to lock up the jungler and the support. Those both are going to fall in quick succession likely. There's that Misfortune dishing out the damage. Another grasp onto Mindful, but it's not enough. Triple kill for the Misfortune. Trying to keep up the chase. It's Elite Games. Mindful flash and relentless pursuit forward. Out comes a curtain call, but I don't think it's going to be curtain call for anyone on the side of Zenigma Unknown. Top baller and Spunyan, the last alive, as blue side's going to turn their eyes to the dragon. I don't see anything really happening here. It's going to be Ocean Soul for the side of Zenigma Unknown. And like I said earlier, with a burst damage comp, that's going to make things so much more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kingpin are really, really going to struggle. I mean, they were already struggling pre-Ocean Soul, right? They just didn't have the durability nor the damage to beat Zenigma in these team fights. And that's mostly just the consequence of having what seems to be a pick comp and just playing for 5v5s, and Trundle is just going to die once more to the bullet time.
The insta shred coming out from these ADCs is quite insane.
Yeah, Misfortune is sitting on 3,500 gold at the moment. That is a full item. And honestly, I think she can build Collector plus another full item.
Yep.
That's going to be an ouchie. She went from 150 gold bounty with 0 kills to 700 gold bounty with 6 kills. So bounty is definitely well deserved now. And she is going to be be a pretty major threat when the next
Yep.
team fight comes. Almost 4,000 gold she's sitting on.
I'm thinking Collector and maybe start work to IE. IE or
Oh,
Bloodthirster?
can't quite get it. But BF Sword and Pickaxe.
Us
Just
IE.
casual
Yep.
65 AD added to your inventory.
All right. So things looking rough right now for the side of Kingpin. It could be the fall of the Titan. Titan fall. Haha. Funny joke. Stand by. Okay. Ocean Soul has been claimed. It's going to be Elder Dragon in 4 minutes, Baron in a minute and a half. And
Yeah,
unless
I
we
mean,
see some sort of
yeah.
big pick come out from the side of Kingpin, I don't
Right,
think they
like
can.
at this point, you
Yeah.
have to ask yourself, what can Kingpin do to get back in this game? And really, the answer is they need to find Miss Fortune alone in a side lane somehow, and just kill her with
Can't do that.
Malzahar point click. But then you realize, they have the Stand United, they have the Heroic Entrance. Miss Fortune is literally never alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the power of these global ultimates, where against a pick comp, you can't make a pick. Like, it's just not feasible, where you're always going to get denied by even just the Stand United, right?
Yep.
It can buy just enough time for people to run up from mid lane or from the jungle, wherever your teammate is. It buys just enough time, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in another 5v5 fight where you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not the situation you want to be in if you're Kingpin, and this may just be their first loss of the season.
Yep. And I mean, it's like, Catch the Misfortune alone, Global Ultimates. She's not even in a
Yeah,
position where Global Ultimates need to
it's
be used.
impossible for her to be alone.
Yeah, Mandated and Silver Core have just been sticking with her for the past 2.5 minutes. And that's Ultra Giga God Peel there in the Amumu and the Galio.
When you think of Peel, I would say Galio is definitely up there in terms of ideal Peelers.
We have a fight starting. Look at that damage. It's TJ in the back line. Bullet time being channeled. Double kill already. Now it's Spunyan caught out front. That's most of their damage. Both carries not quite dead. There we go. Mandated with that burn is going to find the kills, and it's nothing but meat shields left for the side of Kingpin. No one has fallen for Zenigma
And
unknown.
I would say, rather than meat shield, more like paper shield at this point.
True.
Like they're not like a couple autos at most, maybe before you're already gone. So that's just gonna be a free Baron. Nothing Kingpin can do. 3 members dead, including your jungler. Baron's already dead. Miss Fortune absolutely shredding. And she should have IE on base. Yeah, she's sitting on 3,000 more gold. Oh, GA actually. I think that's definitely a good idea. The GA.
True.
Fair play for sure. Just in case, hook onto Lucian. This may be it.
Nice dredge line. The pillar is going to leave a little bit of breathing room in between the pillar and the wall. Mindful. I mean, that damage is nothing to be trifled with. They're forced to back away from the Lucian. And nothing can come of that.
Miss Fortune getting GA is just like the cherry on top, right? If somehow Kingpin find Miss Fortune alone, not only do they have to deal with the 2 global ultimates coming in to save the day, but she also has a GA. So there is, I don't think, even if like all 5 members were top, all 4 members were top and Miss Fortune was bot, I'm pretty sure she still she still lives at the end of the day. Like point click ults are just so insane in competitive play, just because, as we said, low risk, high reward. You're always there. It's just almost impossible to outplay.
Yep.
Even the little outplay button can't help this one.
All right. Elder Dragon in 30 seconds. All teleports on the Rift are ready to go. And here's what we wanted to see. We see the King side of Kingpin around this objective. And now we see the Miss Fortune all alone. A very early flash. But here's Elite Games and Silver Cora. 2 sets of Peel. Dredge line is going to land onto Miss Fortune. Eyes on that champion. Another grasp, but Stand United is going to be channeled as well. TJ finally falling. But not before getting a kill of their own. The Garden Angel is procced. Young Rich Boy going golden to buy maybe just a few seconds before falling. Mindful going to find the kill onto the Jhin. It's mop the floor hours for the side of Zenigma unknown. Hero's entrance was nothing but gratuitous there. Eyes turned to the Elder Dragon, and most likely to a victory after that was taken.
Yeah, and they're all still full HP thanks to
Yep.
this Ocean Soul. Absolutely incredible. And Kingpin got a lot closer to killing Sizzy than I thought. Right?
Yep.
They actually got her GA down, and I was a little surprised just because the Galio heroic entrance didn't actually come out. But Ms. Mundo just gonna, yeah,
There
that's
is
gonna
Call them out with the help of
Coaling and bullet time. That's a lot of bullets.
yeah.
Cannot dodge them all. Most likely going to be game here. They can just push. Miss Fortune's sitting on 3,500 gold. Doesn't matter. Bye bye. Trundle,
Some
Jin
attempt
gone.
heroic last stand by the bot lane or top no bot laner and the jungler the side of Kingpin, but it is all for naught in the face of two fed AD carries on the side of Zenigma Unknown, and they're going to take this game in absolutely momentous fashion.
Yeah, and I think the damage charts just
Yeah.
completely demonstrate what happened this game. Lucian, Misfortune, off the scale. Malzahar, pretty close. Mundo, respectable, but just having that 50k total damage,
Mhm.
it's just so insane. Um, that may even be more than is that more than the entire Kingpin team? Maybe no, probably not. But it's close, and that's just the thing, right? If
Yep.
two of your champions are almost out damaging the entire enemy team, you did something right, and that's drafting these hard carry ADCs combined with this mega peel of the Galio Shen and Mumu. Just such a strong team comp. You can't get picked. You can't lose the 5v5. How do you even lose?
Yep, and that's a dream scenario for a team with two marksmen. And I will say that, we saw the seeds of this foul plant for the side of Kingpin planted in champ selection. So all in all things, didn't go off too far off the rails as far as what we thought may happen this game. Zenigma Unknown played it practically perfectly, getting them the first win in this best of three. We'll have to see if they can take the sweep or if Kingpin can turn things around from the very start. Going into the second game, it's week 6 here at Runeterra Academy's freshman class. We'll bring you game 2 of this best of 3 right after this quick break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of Runeterra Academy's freshman class. Week 6, Division 1 matchup between Kingpin Gaming, current leaders in the freshman class, against Zenigma Unknown. Zenigma Unknown starting to rock the foundations of this strong org, taking the first game in this best of 3 on the back of dual marksmen simply having free reign in basically every fight. We'll have to see if things can change because we think it was a bit of a comp diff from the very start going into the fight, going into the game. So eyes out for Kingpin to change things up. Zenigma Unknown still missing their first 3 bans due to substitutions, but hey, didn't set them down last game. We'll see if they can keep things up this time.
Yeah, and especially with Zenigma losing their first 3 bans, it's especially impressive coming out with a better team composition. Hopefully, Kingpin are going to change things up in this second match. Otherwise, they are going to be going home with their first loss of the season. They already lost their first match of the season. Is this going to be their first round loss of the season? We're just going to have to wait and find out.
Yep, let's see. Champ Select has started. We're going to see the same 3 bans coming out from Kingpin: the Garen, the Vel'Koz, and the Fiddlesticks. Yeah, like I said, first 3 bans are not in play for the side of Zenigma, so this will be free. But, you know, what do you think Kingpin need to change going into this Champ Select in order to make sure that they do not have as disastrous result as it did in Game 1?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it mostly came down to a little bit of a blunder in sort of the ordering of their team comp. I think the main mistake was picking up the Mundo quite early in R3, which allowed, the Shen counter pick that, solo killed in lane, and then also had the global pressure. You can't quite reveal a pick that early, especially when it's going to be a low impact laner like Mundo. Like Mundo doesn't have lane. I don't think he has lane prio in any lane, to be honest. He's just not like, if you're gonna first pick a top laner, you want it to be someone that has a lot of good matchups. They're gonna have lane prio, something like Set or Darius, right? Champs that have such a high impact in lane that it's gonna be very, very hard to counter pick you. So you have to decide, okay, do I want to pick something that might win in lane once a certain point? Or do we just hold back and just play for the team? So if you pick early, I think you need to pick a little bit higher impact in that group. But the picks are coming out. We do see very similar. I mean, Kingpin are just like, we saw your comp last game. We're just gonna yoink it. Amumu, Galio, Shen, 3 out of 5 just taken. Unfortunately, Zenigma did grab the Misfortune and Jarvan. And look, here is possibly the second blunder from Kingpin in the top side. You pick this Shen up early. What does Zenigma do? They counterpick with the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is the classic counter to the Shen. Now, Shen can win this matchup. However, it's very, very tricky and very skill dependent, with Mordekaiser being generally favored in even skill. But then again, you also have the Shen global pressure and the Galio global pressure. So Kingpin are sort of yoinking that from Zenigma's last team comp. And as the bans start coming through, we do see Malzahar banned from Zenigma. They didn't like Malzahar last game. It definitely was a menace, very high damage, very high impact.
Yep, but then the Lucian banned away by the side of Kingpin, showing that much respect to the side of Zenigma Unknown. Like, the Lucian was absolutely nuclear last game, so it's unsurprising to me that they take it off the table. Looks like it's going to be full mid lane priority from the side of Zenigma, possibly Kingpin as well. Lissandra taken away. So it's going to be mid lane support for the side of Zenigma. And there's going to be Tarek banned away, which is a big favorite of Silver Korra. They're over on the side of Zenigma Unknown, so unsurprisingly they take it away. The Nautilus, however, Nautilus was picked by Kingpin last game, sorry. But Kingpin has, taken those 3 picks away from the side of Zenigma in the Amumu, the Galio, and the Shen. I won't be surprised to see maybe a Thresh come out or something for Silver Korra over there in the support role. But nope.
Hey, you called it the Nautilus. So little bit of a trading champions going on here. They're like, okay, you took Omu Galio Shen. We're going to keep the Misfortune, but we're also going to take your Nautilus from last game. So very interesting comps coming up from both sides. I'm interested in how Kingpin is going to round out this comp. They need to be very, very careful because right now they have zero damage, completely zero damage. They need something high impact that can make use of the CC and peel that their comp has. Hey, very good choice. Vayne definitely has a lot of damage potential if she gets a lead early or is allowed to get up to a couple items. And with this Giga Peel comp, it can definitely come out nicely if the Vayne has good spacing. And I'm curious what Kingpin is going to pick up for Young Rich Boy in the mid lane, or maybe he goes on the Galio, but very unlikely because he seems to be very, very confident with these high impact picks. And they are going to be picking in the Syndra.
Yep, Syndra going to be locked in, and I'd say if you know your player is a carry, put them on a carry. Don't put don't put Faker on Karma. It's like,
yeah.
I want to see.
Okay, but have you seen Faker play Galio? Oh my god, she's clean.
But still, if they are
absolutely
carry, then let them carry. But the answer from Zenigma to that is going to be a Pantheon mid.
Yeah.
Speaking of Korea, so the Pantheon mid coming out, and I think it great, especially for a gank lockdown on the Syndra, who really only has that scatter the weak option to try and get out of dodge should the Jarvan make a visit. So, and then answer to global pressure, Pantheon, global ultimate.
Yeah. Not quite as impactful as the Galio or Shen, but it's still an option to have. You have the roam threat, right, that Syndra does not have. So once Pantheon hits 6, he has the capability of going top or going bot, changing the tide of the map to his will. And Syndra may have, TP, but beyond that, not much ways of impacting.
Mm-hmm. No, I think,
go ahead.
My primary concern here now is, so, Vayne can get in a good spot. She's going to be your primary damage dealer for the side of Kingpin. Syndra's there, but she's big burst damage. Vayne is your DPS, but with a Mordekaiser going into a possible winning lane, Mordekaiser presses R on Vayne, and then what is really left as far as the team fight goes outside of the Death Realm. Kingpin have some solid disengage options, some good peel, but peel for who? Syndra in a 4v4 team fight going up against a Misfortune, a Pantheon, a Nautilus, and a Jarvan. I can see things get real messy if Mordekaiser is in a position where he can comfortably press R on that Vayne.
You raise a good point with the Mordekaiser, but I would counter with just QSS tags, right? Vayne just has to build QSS, and then she is in a game against 4 melee opponents.
Yep.
It doesn't get better as Vayne, right? This is the ideal Vayne game. But as you said, you do have the QSS tax against the Mordekaiser, and if Spunyan doesn't go for the QSS, I completely agree. Mordekaiser can just ruin this Vayne's day if he manages to win lane against the Shen. And if that's the case, then all of a sudden you're Kingpin gaming, right? And you have all this peel, and you have no DPS to follow up with it. So if Mordekaiser is able to solo Vayne in the Death Realm, your whole draft falls apart. But if the QSS is built and Vayne has good spacing, she's able to stay out of melee range of the Pantheon, Jarvan, Nautilus. There's a lot of CC, right?
Yep.
So she definitely needs to be careful. But if she can space it well, she can wreak havoc. And I think this game, solely rests on Spunyan in this ADC position and how well they are able to pilot this Vayne in these rough melee CC fights.
Mm-hmm. But now, we're Spunyan on the Vayne. Vayne, I would say notable for late game presence as she gets her items built up. With that W maxed, that's when she really starts seeing the damage. How do you think she's going to fare early on in the laning and the mid game phases against this Misfortune in the bot lane?
Yeah, you're a Vayne Galio against the Misfortune Nautilus, so most likely you're not going to be able to get the push in lane, right? Mm-hmm. Both Vayne and Galio have very normal wave pressure, while Misfortune does have the hail of bullets. I don't actually know what it's called, but the bullet rain, whatever,
Mhm.
of her E. So she does have wave clear. And when you're against the Jarvan, I wouldn't actually think that's a bad thing, right? You want to
Yeah.
get pushed in. Yeah, you don't necessarily have cryo for Drakes, but you're scaling anyway. And if you die early to a Jarvan gank, or even just in lane to a good Nautilus hook, that is really, really bad because that prevents you from scaling. You lose CS, you lose XP, and then you fall behind in the tempo of the game. And especially when you compare Jarvan to a Mumu in the jungle,
Mhm.
Jarvan is a lot better at ganking early than a Mumu is. Yeah, yes, a Mumu has the double bandage toss, but really he just wants to get to level 6 because once he's level 6, he has the AoE stun, and he's able to provide a lot more impact in these fights. So I'm expecting Laxer to just go for a more farming style clear compared to the Jarvan. And that really synergizes well with this Vayne in the bot lane, who also just wants to be scaling up. No need for unnecessary pressure.
Yep. Then it's all a question of balancing that passive farming playstyle going up against a Jarvan who has, two winning lanes in the Mordekaiser and the MF Nautilus. Or not necessarily winning, but, priority lanes. And
Yeah.
if you can make sure that Mordekaiser really gets ahead against that Shen, or that the Misfortune and the Nautilus, keep Vayne and Galio literally under tower the whole game, it's really going to be a beautiful use of the jungle pressure to ensure that Vayne's late game, when it arrives, would come, an hour and a half into the game. But that,
Yeah, I
honestly,
definitely
that's not
agree.
gonna happen.
And when you have this Pantheon mid, I think that's actually a very, very strong pick because it should be able to survive pretty comfortably against the Syndra. And then once you're level 6, all of a sudden you have so many more options available to you, right? You can
Mhm.
dive bot lane, you can dive top lane with this Mordekaiser against the Shen. Suddenly you have this option of making 4-man plays in a place with the Jarvan that wouldn't normally be available to you, right? Like if you have a Syndra mid, your options of diving bot lane under tower are so much more limited to when you have a Pantheon. And when you have winning lanes top and bot, that Pantheon ultimate can be the fight or the difference in a fight that can get your more misfortune fed, and all of a sudden the Vayne is too far behind to be useful. So definitely keep an eye on this mid lane, this bot lane. Honestly, all these lanes are so impactful, and depending which way they go, right? Like if a Mumu gets a good gank top lane against a Mordekaiser and Shen gets a lead, all of a sudden that matchup isn't so much Mordekaiser favored anymore.
Mhm.
And it's just the little things, right? Where do the ganks go? How well do the ADCs farm? Where's CS across the board? Who gets those early objectives? Drake pressure, soul pressure. Everything adds up to who can actually get the ultimate advantage in these fights.
Mhm. All right, so getting to game 2, it's not Comp Canyon like we may have seen in the first game, but still, it's a razor blades difference between victory and defeat in the fight, particularly for the side of Kingpin, depending on how the setup goes, with the weight mostly on the shoulders of the Jarvan and the Pantheon for the setup. We'll see who takes it away. Will it be Kingpin Gaming taking their first series loss, or are they going to hold strong, take it the full 3 games, and keep themselves undefeated as far as series go, not games, not after game 1? And if the side of Zenigma Unknown can take them down, we'll get it to you right after this break on Summoner's Rift. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kingpin Gaming now on the blue side, going up against the team of Zenigma Unknown on the red side. Zenigma leading the series 1-0. They take it. It'll be Kingpin's first series loss, making them tied for first place. Both teams at 5-1 in their series record. No invades here, looking like, despite the fact there's a Nautilus on the team and, an Amumu Shen Galio on the blue side. Playing safe, you don't want to let anybody get ahead early, despite the fact that it was Kingpin who got ahead early with that early first blood to Young Rich Boy in game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, both of these bot laners have opted for aggressive choices. We see Pantheon taking the Ignite instead of Teleport, and the Syndra taking Electrocute over Phase Rush, both of which are not necessarily unusual, but just interesting choices that may be the difference between life or death. For example, Syndra with Electrocute, if Jarvan comes for a gank, suddenly you don't have this Phase Rush movement speed to save you if all goes wrong. And I think that's something Jarvan should actually be looking to abuse. If Syndra waits the scatter of the week, she has nothing besides flash, right? So I'll have to see what exactly happens. Both junglers starting opposite sides as before, so probably not too much action to begin with.
Silver Cora taking a decent bit of damage there, just trying to get into lane. It's ideal. By the very least, it looks like Laxer is now on the Amumu and is not going to have the start.
Shen's missing XP. Why is he standing under turret?
Oh, it's going to be a Dredge line and a root onto Spinning Ignite as well. Man has already joined the fight. Flash forward, going to knock him out with that. What's the passive called? I forget. Bonus damage on the auto attack. Martial Cadence. There it is. Yep, thank you. Martial Cadence. And that's early first blood to the jungler. We wanted that Jarvan acting early, and there it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That is huge. Unfortunately, the Jarvan got it, not the Misfortune, so it's not as high impact as possible. But him going for the red buff here is not necessarily a bad thing. He's probably going to get away with it since Amumu is going for his red buff. And while that fight was going on bot side, I actually got distracted a little bit because I noticed Shen was under turret while the first minions died. So he lost like 4 or 5 minutes of XP, and Jarvan's going mid lane for a gank.
Yep,
and that's
flash
just flash.
Syndra. Well, I'm honestly going to contest you. I like the first blood on the Jarvan because the Jarvan is going to be the crux of trying to get these lanes ahead. Like, sure, it's great on the Misfortune to get the first blood, but with how we think the Jarvan is going to influence the game, I think it's perfectly fine if it goes to Mandan.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about how bad this lane is for Shen. How bad is it for Shen when you're already half a level behind just from game start?
Yeah.
So that is not going to be fun at all for top baller. And Jarvan may actually get the double scuttle here once again. We saw him do it last game on the Amumu, I believe. Or was it the other way around?
I think it was actually Laxer with the Trundle.
Okay, my mistake. So now Laxer's getting a taste of his own medicine, getting double scuttled by Mandan, Mandan getting his revenge.
Yep, it will be a double scuttle after Mandan just Chad walks right through mid lane. And Laxer has no answer.
This is a mid gank angle. Young Rich Boy stuck mid, no flash, no mana.
Have to see. Well, they
Wave
see
frozen.
Yeah. They saw Mandan there taking that crab. Gonna turn attention to Scuttle. It looks like for the time being, Young Rich Boy will be safe.
Yeah. I think Mindfox could have kept it frozen a little bit longer to set up a gank, but I think he decided to push it.
Dredgeline is going to miss in the bot lane for Silver Cora. Not much going on down there, really, but now in the top lane, top ball is brought very low by Elite Games, and now it's going to be Silver Cora locked up on the Nautilus. He'll pop by the Misfortune to keep them alive. Spunny trying to force the issue. Silver Bolt's taking their toll, Ignite taken away, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Nautilus will live with Summoner spells expended down in the bot lane. At the very least, possibly set up for a future gank. Now, see, reset is coming.
And Shen is getting pretty counter top lane, forced to give up turret, losing even more XP. And wow, he's not even TPing back. That's going to be so painful. Mordekaiser is going to be like 2 levels up on him. Ouch.
Yep. With the blasting.
And the wave's pushing away from him.
Aggressive first purchase, I would say, there as well. Going straight into the blasting wand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely. I play a bit of Mordekaiser, and I think that's definitely the way to go. If you go for Leeching Leer and you're paying so much money for the Omnivamp, that really isn't too good early game, right? It's 5%, which is pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Maybe you know a little bit of healing, but for the most part, your W is really what's giving you the sustain in lane. So just going for this pure AP purchase of Blasting One gives you so much damage that you can hard carry these top lanes fights against something like a Shen who built armor
Yeah.
instead of MR. Maybe it was just a gold thing, but that armor is really not going to help you much against the Mordekaiser. Probably should have gone like boots or something.
Yep. Yeah, Ruby Crystal and armor, like maybe a no magic mantle and boots instead, something like
Yeah,
that. But
because we do see that Mordekaiser's already level 6, Shen's still level 5. If he gets hit by an E, he's dead. Like that's just, or he's just gonna straight up ult him. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. There's a Death Realm. They're in the project dimension now. Elite Games will miss that first. Obliterate. Death Scrap is going to land. Top Baller going to land the taunt. Does not have flash ready to go, however. As the side of Zenigma Unknown is going to take that first dragon. It was an Ocean Cloud coming up, so we're looking at either Mountain or Infernal Soul. If it's an Infernal, I can see people getting zapped from 100 to 0 with
yeah, whoever gets
combo coming out from Unknown.
Oh, Misfortune.
TJ
No,
down a bit.
just a little bit of burst.
Yep. Some strange positioning here up in the top lane river, but then the fight actually broke out.
Okay. Angry Llama going to be taken a little low by those concurrent turret shots. And Shen not having a good time. Waves frozen top lane. He's still level 5. TP's down.
Yep.
Very, very not the position you want to be in. But he's level 6, so now he can make plays across the map. He can, completely sacrifice lane for a potential play elsewhere.
Yep. Now Elite just gonna stay on top. But like you brought up last game, how top baller top baller was on Mundo last time, so we'll just say the Shen. The Shen does not get a power spike with level 6. Sure, now they can save their teammate, but lane is still in a suboptimal spot to say the least. And
look at those isolated moves. Ouch.
Alright, jungler in the bot side for Kingpin. Looks like Mandan just did a reset, sitting on the Iron Spike Whip and a Phage already. CS relatively even across the board with the exception of that top lane. Top Baller brought very low once again. The top lane is in the laning phase practically now a lost cause for the side of Kingpin. But now we're going to see Mindful possibly caught up front, force a flash over the wall to get away. 4 members of Kingpin down here in this bot side. And with that in mind, the Elite can just feel comfortable to make the play.
That's the Mordekaiser treatment.
Yep. And
he can just walk under your turret and solo kill you. Solo bolo, as they say. And that's going to be exactly what Zenigma need. They're going to go for this Rift Herald. Going to be no contest from the side of Kingpin. Mumu backed, Shen backed. Going to be free real estate.
It will be Shen
and just take a quick look at CS across the board.
Yep.
It's not just the 2 kills, right? We see huge CS gap top lane, double the CS, 67 to 29, 60 to 52 in the jungle, even mid lane. But Nautilus Dredge line.
Yeah. Oh boy, you hooked the Galio. That's not exactly who you want to get. But now we have action in the top lane. Man is going to go in. Is Cataclysm ready to go? Is, but it's not going to be channeled quite yet. However, Laxter is here. They have vision. Bandage Toss is going to land. Curse's Sad Mummy is ready. There's a Death Realm coming out. It's going to be a Fed Mordekaiser. Is the Amumu. Will the W come out in time? No, it will not. Laxter's going to get the solo kill in the Death Realm. Top Brawler brought lowest taunt onto both Young Rick Boys are in the fight. Scatter the Weak will catch 1 in the stun. Man is secures a kill onto the Shen. Now trying to finish off the Amumu, but the unchanneled, or what's it called? Unleashed power. There it is from the Syndra. It's going to finish him off. Mindfo trying to stay on top. Ignite ticking away. Mortal Will Q is not enough. A tower shot. One, not two. It's not going to finish off
Oh,
Mindfo.
just needs a little bit more.
Oh, action in the bot lane as well.
Unfortunately,
Onion
all
and
summoner
Angry
spells
Llama.
used.
Yep. Now I don't really understand what happened down here in the bot lane, because Spunnion is very low, Angry Llama as well, but Silver Chorus did not use a depth charge. Now it's coming out, but the Stand United is being channeled, and things could very quickly turn. It's going to be the support and the bot lane are falling.
Oh!
Not quite yet.
But she
Now
kills
they will go.
Spunnion. She kills Spunnion.
Yep. At the very least, that's a kill to the Misfortune as they go down. And messy play in the bot lane, and all in all, the top lane as well. But the gold lead's still solidly in favor of Zenigma Unknown.
You know, it looks bad, but honestly, I think that's worth for Zenigma. I mean, where do the kills go? One goes on Galio, and the other goes on Shen. So
Yep.
first of all, Shen's gold is reset, right? He was 0-2, so his gold value was through the floor. Maybe it was like 150 gold if he died. But now he's reset to a full 300. He's still behind, right? He's still 37 CS. Dragon's up 10 seconds. No Stand United, no TP. So this dragon is going over. Syndra's gone as well.
Yep. Hello there.
And Vayne is behind. She missed out all the gold XP from that huge wave that Zenigma's bot lane just crashed into turret on that dive. So bot lane is up 30 CS. And so what I'm saying is, yeah, the gold might be... I mean, the gold's still super far behind. But in that play, the gold didn't even go where you want it to go. Everything needs to be going into this Vayne because she is the carry.
Yep.
And, you know, with two dragons over to Zenigma, Mountain Soul is not looking the best for Kingpin.
Yep. Laxter trying to step up in the mid lane, but he's going to come of it. Teleport channel by Young Rich Boy just to get back. Tier 1 top lane turret has fallen. No surprise. And now top baller might get caught out of position. Shadow Dash will get them away and out of harm's reach. But now they're stepping forward. Death Realm is ready to go, but Laxter will win the fight. It could all be a bait. Bandage Toss will come out and land. Curses had Mummy ready to go, but as is Death Realm. Who's going to channel on?
Is this a fight you want to take? I don't think so.
It's going to be on top baller. There's a kill. Pantheon join the fight with the Grand Starfall. Young Rich Boy hanging out over the wall, but they don't quite have vision. Engage coming from Angry Llama, but it's a risky one, and fortunately, it doesn't quite land.
Yeah, and we see 3 mythics in the game so far, all of them on the side of Zenigma, in Riftmaker, Goredrinker, and Kraken Slayer for their respective players. Yeah, it's a big chunk.
Yeah, I'm loving these, what are they called? Double ups? Yep, the double ups on these. I'm so bad at trying to land those, personally. But
it's hard, but if you, especially when you get a caster minion low and then you double up through it for the crit, ooh, so spicy.
There's a stun. Bandage Toss is going to miss, however, and Elite just trying to get out, but the second charge is going to land. Mandan, I think, making the right call, just leave them to die, and the money goes to the Shen.
Oh no! Once again, not where you want it to go. Unfortunately, if Young Rich Boy had picked up that 200 gold shutdown, maybe he could have gotten something happening. Bold engagement, Angry Longbow.
Straight 2v2. The Dredge Line's going to miss. Bullet time, miscalculated angle as well. Silver Core just trying to confirm the kill. Top Ballers are in the fight with the Stand United. Ignite ticking away, but the Triumph proc is going to keep Spunnion alive.
Yeah. And the lifesteal from that Bam Scepter coming in handy.
There's a kill in your Vayne.
Pretty good play, and that is what you want. You know, Vayne gets a kill. Vayne's going to get, unfortunately, no turret plates, but Vayne is going to get a little bit of gold from that. And Galio, pretty good, you know, 2 kills. Syndra maybe caught out there.
Yep, misplaced Q,
phase
but
rush, but
Blackster just trying to provide some help. Bandage Toss going to land. Flash Force out of the Pantheon. But here come 2 with the jungler and the top lane joining the fight for the side of Zenigma. There's a Flash Death Realm onto the Amumu. Full combo is going to land, and Elite will most likely walk out of this with a kill. There it is. No taunt coming out from top baller. They don't want that fight against that Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's where, and we are at the point where it's like, okay, Vayne gets fed. Mordekaiser's fed. He just presses R. And, you know, things may likely go downhill outside of the Death Realm for the side of Kingpin.
Absolutely, yeah. So far, Spunnion does not have QSS, right?
Yep.
And probably isn't going to have it for the near future. So if a fight engages, Mordekaiser presses R, fed, fed Mordekaiser, not just any Mordekaiser, 4-2. Um, and all of a sudden, Vade is in a bit of a trouble because she can't get out. She's probably going to die. Maybe she survives, but worst case, oh, Spunion.
The final hour of Flash, answered by the Flash of the Misfortune as well, stepping forward, trying to find the kill under tower. Bullet time's going to come out very late.
Oh,
And
wow.
what's going to happen? In comes the Grand Starfall, however. It's going to be channeled down into Bot River. Mindful trying to find the kill. Silvergore here's back them up. There's a root. There's a stun. Spunion is still alive, however. Teleport being channeled. It's going to be elite games during the fight very late. Angry Llama now just trying to get away. Turret is still up to at least provide some cover. It's going to be support surviving. And Spunion went shield bow, which, makes sense, but I'm assuming Kraken Slayer is your optimal buy on the Vayne.
I mean,
I'm not sure exactly.
It's. I would say it's heavily debatable.
And I think it's very serviceable. Yes,
Yeah,
I think the shield bow is serviceable going up against this comp with the state of the game, but personally, I think you'd rather go Kraken Slayer.
I think I would disagree just because Zenigma have so many point-click abilities that.
But here's a fight starting. It's going to be Angry Llama going in right into the middle with the beautiful taunt. Cataclysm's going to catch 2 or 3. Bandit with the drink is going to stay alive. It is a 3-man Curse of the Sad Mummy. Spunion free firing away, but stepping way too far forward. Now Mordecai just in the back line. Blackster doing their best to try to stay alive, but it's not enough. It's an Amumu.
Now, and that's going to be Dragon number 3 for Zenigma. Yeah, I'm going back to Vayne's item choice. You lose a bit of damage, but considering how many point-click CCs are on the side of Zenigma, you've got the Nautilus, you have the Pantheon, pretty much every single champ except the Misfortune on the side of Zenigma has a point-and-click ability on you that can target you and pretty much deny you from doing what you want to do as Vayne. So if you have the shield bow, it gives you a little bit more survivability, and as you said in champs, like majority of your damage is coming out from your W passive anyway, because these are beefy boys. So the little bit of extra true damage you get is, I think, less than getting another set of rotation. I think he stole that.
He did.
Then getting 3 more autos with Immortal Shield Bow, I believe, is more worth it than getting the existing autos with the Kraken Slayer passive.
Okay.
But I mean, either way, it is not looking.
Yeah.
Vayne is not going into. She's not going into QSS. I keep forgetting the word. Because she built the dagger, right? So she's not immediately going for QSS. So this leaves the door open to potential, Mordekaiser just saying, okay, you don't get to play the game for 8 seconds, and during those, 7 seconds. During those 7 seconds, our team is just going to kick your team's butt.
Yep.
Nautilus maybe cut out.
Yeah, Silver Core is going to be locked down for the time being. Which is CC, a nice dredge line is going to get them out of there. And now 4 members of Kingpin are down here bot, but 3.5 minutes left on the Dragon.
Literally.
Yeah. And, they went for the play on the support. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but now Mindful might be caught out front. There's a final hour being channeled, as well as a Shield of Duran. The wrong direction. Has to be a shutdown going over to the Vayne, finally.
That would have been so perfect if it was just in the right direction, but...
Oh man, is going to go in, but it's stunned up against the Cataclysm. Angry Llama tanking for a while, but Spunion with the Stand United. Triumph Proc survives, tanking the turret. And that's a free kill there in the mid lane, but they're all low, forced to reset. And that's going to be, what was that? Bot lane tier 1 falling for the side of Kingpin.
Yeah, and that's going to actually be, that's a little bit of negative synergy with Jarvan's Cataclysm.
Yep.
Vayne Condemn stuns you. Like, guaranteed. So, not quite what Mandun probably had in mind, unfortunately. And, Vayne picking up those kills, still has 4 kills now. Is behind 60 CS, though, from this Misfortune. So overall, still behind in gold, but it's getting close. And
Yep.
Vayne scaling has, getting through those items could be a big threat. But again, until she buys QSS, they do have the Death Realm escape.
Yep.
Not escape. Denial measure, I guess.
It's countermeasure. How about that?
Countermeasure. There you go.
Yeah.
And so as long as that's a factor, and of course, the Mordekaiser has to be there to press R, right? So
Yeah.
far, he maybe has not been quite there. He's been pushing top or late to the fight. So
Death Realm's ready. Are we going to see another solo kill?
oh,
League Game is going to flash. There it goes. Q is going to miss. Top Baller trying to do their best with the happy feet, but now the passive is procced, and this will be end of story most likely. Unsurprisingly, a solo kill to the Mordekaiser on the Shen.
Yeah, you can miss every ability. Doesn't matter. Just gotta get that passive. Pantheon.
There's a condemn into the knockup. Taunt free firing is Spunion with the ultimate radio as well.
That's
And now
another kill to the Vayne. Not looking
Vayne is
great.
now 30 gold behind the Misfortune.
Yep, despite 60 CS.
Power shutdown.
No, it's more like 200.
Really? Oh, now they
Not
are.
30.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? I thought they were.
Maybe Misfortune
they
got
not
a
just-
cannon or something. I don't know. Maybe it was a cannon.
Something happened.
Either way, I mean, look at this top CS still double. Jarvan's
Yep.
still up 58. Mid lane is behind. This Pantheon falling behind just a little bit. Not too surprising. And the Silver Core just flashed over the wall. Can't deal with the Vayne. Soul coming up 30 seconds. This is the fight. Misfortune backing a little late. Nautilus also backing a little late. There's 25 seconds.
Look at this guerrilla
This
warfare.
is not good at all.
So of course dead. I see one kill. Mandate
Yeah.
Oh, Blast Cone used. Anger Llama all alone. Thankfully they can't collapse. And now that Vayne has Phantom Dancer completed and Crimson Shield Bow, I suddenly see the Death Realm 1v1 very much up in the air.
It's not looking too good. It's not
Yeah.
looking that good. I think the main thing is just denying Vayne from fighting your team for that duration.
Yep.
And looks like they're just going to go for Baron. I like this play. The question is, do they win the 5v5? We'll have to see, because they're most certainly going to contest it, right? And
Yes,
you don't
they
have the
are.
damage to kill it fast enough. They have to turn.
Yep. And Silver Core is not here. So
Yeah, exactly. Not only that's a 4v5. So they're just going to leave. They're not interested in this fight when you don't have your support. I agree. Oh,
Mindful jumping in,
Pantheon.
but there's no
Oh.
backup. They're Stand United procced early. Aegis Assault. In comes a taunt. It's going to interrupt bullet time. In comes Mannion, but there's a beautiful Curse of the Sad Mummy. TJ in the backline firing away. Spanish is going to find the first kill onto the Jarvan. Death Jarvan's going to lock down the Vayne for the time being. But it's all going the way of Kingpin, but Elite Games fed on the Mordekaiser, just trying to 1v5 here. Does not quite find a kill just
Oh
yet.
my-
There's two quadra kill.
Wow.
Headshot kill for Spunion on the Vayne.
And we were talking about the QSS tax. You don't need the QSS tax if the Mordekaiser is never going to ult you.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it looks like Elite Games doesn't have the same idea we do, because he keeps ulting a Mumu. And
But even-
that's what happens. Vayne just running havoc on your whole team. And yeah, you killed the Amumu, but once you come out, everybody's dead. You're like, what the heck happened?
Well, I mean,
Well, that was the 10 kill Vayne running, destroying your whole team.
yep.
And, just like that, Vayne has completely taken this game over. Just like we suspected she might in Champ Select, Vayne is huge. Probably backing on a potentially a whole. Okay, there's the QSS. So
Yep.
now it seems very dire, the situation, right? You have a hyperfed Vayne, no more Death Realm. But it's not game over. It's not game over. You have a lot of CC on your team, especially you have the Nautilus with knockups that don't work with the QSS. Angry Llama potentially cut out here, but careful for the Vayne collapsing.
Yep. Taunt is not going to land with Misfortune. That's going to make things tough.
There's
Baker
the Vayne.
Spunion with a condemned Sten. Elite Games is going to be very late, so the fight doesn't definitely ready to go. The Spunion are to find the first kill. Sad Man comes out early. Mindfo now trying to go forward. but Spunyan is still in the back line, free firing. There's 2 kills already for the Vayne. Make it 3. No, not quite yet. Unleash power coming up. Once again, it's Elite Games versus 3, but it's not going to be enough. A triple kill now for the Vayne.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's
the
just
teeter-totter is real.
Yeah, you see a complete lack of target selection for the side of not Kingpin. No, sorry, completely from Zenigma. This Vayne is just sitting in the corner, auto attacking, and you're hitting the Amumu and the Shen. Like you can't. You're not allowed to. You have to be focusing the 13 kill Vayne. You need to spend everything you have on just shutting this down, killing her first, because once she's dead, Kingpin have no damage. There's no damage.
Yep.
There's Syndra. She presses R. She's done. She's done. She's out of the fight. Right. Once the unleashed power is gone, it's over. If this Vayne is dead, that's in the entire Kingpin's comp is surrounding his Vayne. So this Enigma really just need to realize that and focus everything they have on her.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Elite Games are brought Vayne to the death realm that fight either.
He did right before he died, but at that point it was too late. Yeah.
Yep.
And Vayne, 3 items, just completed the Ginsu's Rage Blade. I mean, I don't want to say it's too late, but I mean she's really fed.
Yep.
You need if you're Zenigma and you're doing something, you need to do it. I mean, not exactly now. You should probably wait till the Baron's done, but otherwise they might end the game. But you need to do something quick. You need to get this Mountain Soul 45 seconds. Even if it's a Jarvan suicide to steal, it's worth it. Just to get those extra resistances that shield against the Vayne, it could be so big.
Right, and Elite Games just, having their way in the top lane in the 1v1 against the Shen. Yes, they're going to every time. Bandon out front. Bandon's going to miss, but now Spunyan has Silver Cora dialed in, a failed flash, and things are likely going to get very rough here for the side of Zenigma. Final hour is pop. Spunyan moving forward. A teleport being channeled. It's going to be Elite Games coming in. And that's going to be the signal to call it off for the side of Kingpin. The stun's going to land. Elite Games might have a tough start here. Death Realm. Grass comes out. Bullet time channeled for barely a second. And it's...
But hold on, Jarvan's trying to do Dragon?
Okay, but they're taking your base. And Laxer's here to keep you off of it.
I don't think they can end. But the Shen...
Stand united down at Dragon to try and secure it. It's going to be... Oh, goodness.
No, Mandan!
And now the teleport's being channeled by the Shen. Spunyan just firing away on those turrets. Now turning their attention to the Nautilus. Depth charge used with 0 follow-up. That's the game.
I mean, 0 follow-up from who? It's a little bit too late for that, I think. Oh, nope, the game is still not quite over.
Nope.
Okay. So, wow, I think if Mandan had smited the dragon, it may have been winnable. But now, I think it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Vayne has the full Mercurial Scepter, or sorry, Scimitar, not Scepter. It was dire. The situation was dire. It's even more dire now. 15 kill Vayne. You remember when she had 0 kills? I do. Yep. That was like 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Oh boy.
But I mean, I think that depth charge there at base is very telling. They're not. Their team fights have been very disjointed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Mindfoe in that fight up in the river used W stun on the Syndra, I believe I saw. And Elite Games didn't Death Realm until the very end. In the fight in the jungle, when there was a pentakill, Elite Games used R on Amumu. And then Amumu came out of R, and then Amumu pressed R, and so it wasn't even worth it in the end. Elite Games using Death Realm very late onto Spunyan, but it is not enough.
Yeah.
And,
she didn't need the QSS at this point.
Yep. And
it's
once,
not a... Yeah.
But once you see that, I think that's, The thing was, elite games presses are on Vayne, and then you win the team fights. Once he's not going to get the upper hand on Vayne in the Death Realm, I think that's basically it. Bullet Time's going to come out to try to deal some damage, but it's not enough. Staying united, channeled by the Shen. Mandit on the flank, likely going to try to go in. Cataclysm is going to come out. Spunyon still alive. There it is. There's the Condemn. Cataclysm stun. Pantheon joined the fight late. Spunyon is still alive. There's a triple, make it a quadra. And I think it's
no
marching down
penta.
to victory lane now for the side of Kingpin.
Absolutely. And
WinCon the WinCon came true for the side of Kingpin.
yeah. The Mord 1v5, maybe?
Nope.
Nope.
There's a penta! Hey!
2 pentas, 1 game. All right. I would say Spunyon, he delivered, you know? You're saying the game was on his shoulders. He stood up and said, I can carry you guys. Just arm me. And top baller Arden on cooldown. There you go.
WinCon came through with Spunyon, but Spunyon played well on the Vayne, of course. Every time Jarvan pressed R, boom, instant condemn into the stun. But at the end there, you also think of how much of that is really on the fact that Zenigma was unable to play around trying to shut down that win condition. We saw multiple times when they had the chance, but they couldn't do the full collapse onto the Vayne. And what does that mean? That means team fight lost. And they got to a point where Vayne was simply able to run away with the game. And there it was. We knew what needs to happen in Champ Select, and it came true for the side of Kingpin. And they would take it to 3 games.
Yeah,
damage charts.
Absolutely. Yeah, damage charts. I definitely think it's a combination of both Vayne having really very good positioning, and a lacking in target selection of Zenigma. Unfortunately, it's something that can happen in the freshman class. I think is particularly susceptible just because the micro or macro knowledge is not quite there, and they don't. It's hard, right? I mean, we've all done it in solo queue, right? You're too focused on the tank sitting in your face to see the one that's actually doing all the damage in the backline. In this case, the Vayne, and Vayne is probably the best champ to have that. Maybe Jinx as well, where if they're just autoing you, your health goes bye.
Yes. All right, but that's going to be Kingpin taking game 2 of the series. They dropped their first game of the semester in the last one, but they're still possibly on track to keep their series record undefeated. We'll see if they can, or if the side of Zenigma Unknown can bring it to a tie in the first place position, 5-1 for series. We'll bring the conclusion to this on Summoner's Rift to you right after this short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 6 of Runeterra Academy's freshman class. We're at the very tip top of Division 1 here with Zenigma Unknown going up against the current leaders, Kingpin Gaming, 5-0 in their series record. It's game 3 of this best of 3. Kingpin taking the second game, rallying around Spundian 763 on the vein to take it in the late game. We'll see if they can keep up their streak or if Zenigma can turn that undefeated record to an imperfect 1. Getting into game 3, Champ Select is just starting. My name is Tajgar Chapter Short on the desk, joined by the amazing Wee Wizard. Yeah, we're getting into things, and it's good to see that both teams have some fight in them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to be that guy, but so far, both teams that have drafted Shen, Amumu, Galio have won. So by that logic, whoever drafts Shen, Galio, Amumu this game wins.
True. Vel'Koz banned
And
away.
unfortunately for Zenigma, they lost their first 3 bans again.
Yep.
Due to having an E-sub. So Kingpin hold the advantage once more in terms of drafting. They get 3 extra bans, but Zenigma have first pick for the last game. I'm curious, is Kingpin going to ban anything that they haven't banned before? For example, they've banned, I think, the same 3 bans all game. I think it was Garen, Vel'Koz, and I don't remember the third one, but it wasn't something that Zenigma have played, right? So they're not adapting their bans to. Oh yeah, Fiddlesticks was the third one.
Mm-hmm.
They're not adapting their bans, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're getting champions off of one tricks or banning out a particularly brutal champion. But we should be seeing Zenigma getting the first pick of their choice, and I'm curious, are they going to go for the Amumu once again? Or are they going to try and spice things up for game 3, but at the cost of maybe Kingpin getting that brutal combo once again?
Yep, I am predicting the Amumu first pick, just because that's it's
Amumu.
It's Amumu. It's with the sitting at like an 85% presence here in the freshman class, and who knows how much out there in solo queue. It's just like prioritization of that pick. Nope, Amumu banned away. Thank you. Honestly,
no more Amumu.
I think there's a take away, but that doesn't leave Garen open.
Garen is hey, got it.
Nope.
Take it.
Yep.
They're like, you know what? We want it right back. Let's see. Will Kingpin snag up Misfortune? Wink, wink. Or the Shen? Wink, wink.
Shen, yeah.
Please don't pick the Shen. Don't first pick Shen. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
Oh,
misfortune, just as we expected. No surprises there.
but it's like if they do first pick Shen, I mean, uh, Elite last game had a great time with the Mordekaiser into the Shen. If you just pick Shen here, it's like, okay, boom, we'll pick Mordekaiser, and then you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. But no, it will be the Morgana second pick. We did see that banned away last game, I believe, in second phase by the side of Zenigma, I believe. So we'll have to see if, it was being banned away for a reason. And also, if it's going to support our jungle. I'm not sure if Morgana jungle is as much of a thing now, however.
It's pretty bad. It's doable, but I mean, it's like, why punish yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the riot cycle, right? There's always
Yep.
3 champions in rotation that they want to be jungle. Currently, it's Assassin's time, so yay, we get Talon, Kiana,
Zed.
who's Zed. There you go. Let's just buff them up all the way. S tier. Let's go. All right, done. Before that, it was Diana, Morgana. Who was the third one? Was it Lilia? Maybe. I'm not sure. It was the AP time to shine. I don't. Maybe it was another one that I'm not thinking of. But I think Diana and Morgana were the main ones. Now Morgana doesn't even show up on the tier lists. I mean, it's what happens, right? When you give a champion like plus 300 damage, like 300% damage into the jungle camps, they're gonna play jungle. Okay. Anyway, we got some more picks.
No offense.
Yeah.
Out there.
More picks coming out. We see Jarvan, Thor, and Ashe from the side of Zenigma, while Kingpin rounding out with Malzahar, not banned yet, and Young Rich Boy able to slide back into his one of his main champions. What do you think about this so far?
I think being Young Rich Boy, you're gonna feel great going into this last game on your favorite champion. But we saw how potent the Jarvan fourth was in that early game. Game 2 was going great until Zenigma were all like, haha, Vayne behind, we don't need to pay attention to her. And then things turned around. So I am looking for the Jarvan to basically decide the way that this early game is going to go. We saw first blood down in the bot lane on level 2. So I noticed I've digressed from talking about Malzahar. But Young Rich Boy on the Malzahar, I don't think there's really much else to say except for probably a feels good man moment for them.
Pick.
Yep, and there we are. A bunch of top laners banned away. Now it's going to be the Zac locked in.
Yeah, definitely one of the best engage options that you can have in the jungle. Zac, very, very long reach on his E. Great for ganking, great for initiating team fights. All around, a solid tank jungler, lots of CC. We do see the Shen and the Mordekaiser banned out, so that matchup is not going to be happening thus far. And Annie picked up from Zenigma, going for a burst oriented pick. So, Misfortune, better watch out.
Yep.
Because Annie's going to be gunning for you.
At the very least, you have the Morgana. But, I really like the Annie, that super burst paired up with the Ashe, who's definitely more of a sustained DPS kind of fighter. I would say comp all around for the sides of Zenigma, very similar to what we saw last game. You have your AP mid with the strong DPS in the bot lane, surrounded by 3 more beefy champions with some peel. Now should be the Gnar picked into the set, and hey, what do you know? Top laners are the last 2 picks. That's how it's meant to
I
be.
haven't seen Gnar in forever. I remember when Renekton Gnar was like the the snooze top lane matchup. I haven't seen Gnar in forever, and I'm curious how he's gonna do in this matchup. He's a pretty good frontliner when he's mega. Absolutely, unstoppable CC chain, team fight changer. The one thing we do see from Zenigma is this Ashe, which we haven't seen so far in this series, and this Annie. Both of them are very interesting picks, I think. One of them, from the Ashe, you have a little bit more sustained damage, and the Annie gives you that single target burst onto a carry, which can literally change the the how a fight goes, right?
Yep.
Um, and it's similar. I think Annie plays very very similar to Vex, with Annie having I think slightly less damage in a full rotation,
Hmm.
but having a longer guaranteed stun range. While Vex is a little bit limited to melee range for her guaranteed stun. Um, but overall, I think both of these compositions are very solid. They both have lots of CC. They both have engage and disengage options, and they have DPS, they have burst, they have pick potential, they have frontline, they have backline, offense, defense. Very, very well rounded. And I think this is going to be the most exciting game thus far. The previous two, last game's going to be hard to beat, I think, just because,
Yep.
Vayne pop off, poggers. But I'm glad it's not going to be a little bit one sided like the first match was. Both teams having a nice fleshed out comp that they can try and take advantage of in this upcoming game.
Yep. And I will say that this set pick going into these two big engaged tanks, the Zac and the Gnar, is always something to keep to makes you raise your eyebrows, not in questioning, but in anticipation for when Zac comes flying in, but then Set immediately picks him up and slam dunks in right back into his own team. And then you have that followed up maybe
Yeah.
by the Galio Hero's entrance and a Jarvan dive, top with the Annie burst. And I have to agree with you. This is like, it's never really mirror matchups unless it really is one, but two extremely similar team comps, both well balanced. Sure, Zenigma is a little dive heavy, but they don't have to be if they don't want to play that way. And so
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
basically what you want. It's game 5 down to who can execute the best. The only thing I would say is that, well, initially the side of Kingpin was a little heavy in the magic damage department, but now they got the Gnar paired with the Misfortune. Not so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you raise a great point with the set able to deny a possible engage from Gnar and Zac. And that could just be the difference, right?
Yep.
Nar's expecting he's gonna get Vega, he's gonna jump in, get a huge ult off. He jumps in, set. Oh, nope, right back where you came from. Not only that, but we're dropping you on the Misfortune. Say bye bye to your
Mhm.
ADC. She's gonna go pop. Um, so the set pick is definitely, I think, has a lot of potential if the angles come into play and the positioning just happens in a way that set can get a really nice showstopper off.
Mhm.
And overall, though, let's take a look at lane states and how that's going to factor into the game. I do think that Misfortune Morgana should be able to get the push in the lane if they choose. However, if you're doing that, you fall potentially susceptible to a Jarvan gank or a Galio engage, and you only have one black shield for both
Yep.
of you, right? So you need to be a little bit careful. You have the wave clear, but do you want to utilize it in this bot lane? Especially when you have a Zac, right? Zac is very good ganking, but he can't gank if you're pushing them under tower, right?
Yep.
So I'm curious how Kingpin's bot lane is going to play this matchup, whether they're going to cater to Zac or if they're going to go full on aggressive and try to get a lead that way. In terms of this mid lane, it should be pretty chill until level
Mhm.
6 when both of them unlock their ultimates, which are very vital to each of their kits. Both of them, not very susceptible to ganks. I would think Annie probably a little bit more susceptible just because Malzahar has his passive.
Yep.
And top lane pretty safe. I mean, Gnar should have the advantage just being ranged, and not many champions beat Set in lane. I think Gnar may be one of them that can consistently keep him under control just a little bit. We got to be careful if you get into melee range. Set's gonna, his fits hurt.
Yep.
And I mean, overall, I think this game is very, very well matched in terms of compositions. I think wave states are going to be very, very important against two ganking junglers, Jarvan and Zac. And I'm interested in how these players are going to play, right? Because the composition is set, right? We have two pretty evenly balanced champ pools, and the only different thing now is who's playing them.
Yep. For sure. Well, I think the exception is Zenigma having possibly one more tank / frontliner, but really, okay. Minuscule difference. But yes, like I said, it's all going to come down to execution. Now, it's time to shine. I believe this is the final week before we get into playoffs. So I have to see if Kingpin can go in 6-0, or Zenigma can bring them down to being even 5-1 in their series record. Game 3 of Runeterra Academy's Week 6 freshman class coming right to you after this break. Welcome back for the final time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to Summoner's Rift, bringing the conclusion of this best of 3 between Zenigma Unknown. Now, on the blue side, going up against Kingpin Gaming. On the red side, series is tied 1-1. Winner of this will take the victory tonight. And going into champs, like, we were very excited for what's likely going to be a very much skill-based game. It's not, who has this person has this comp and this is a hard counter to this, etc., etc. It's very much who can play better. And that's what we're always looking for, especially in the conclusion of a series, the final game. So we're excited to see how things start, and it looks like things will be starting rather quiet, except for some skirmish up in the red side top jungle. 5-point start for everybody else. Junglers starting at their respective red buffs.
Yep, and I don't want to say blunder, but a slight blunder is Zach clearing the ward by himself. Usually, the person with sweeper sweeps it, and then you have a laner um, auto it as well, because all the people who contributed to the kill will get the experience. So, for example, if Nar and Malzahar both autoed the ward once before it died, they would get the part of the golden XP.
Yep.
And the thing about laners is that it makes them get level 2 from the first wave. So that's pretty huge for a laner, right? If you're a top laner and you get level 2 a minion before your opponent, that's huge.
Here comes
And
Mandan
Jarvan
once
coming
again
in.
on the Jarvan. They're likely going to see at least a flash spent here. Angry Llama forces Flash Ignite ticking away. There's a heal used as well, but first blood to Mandan once again. But like, he's going to be very quickly traded. Not quite yet. A heal from TJ is going to keep their jungler alive. And that's twice in a row now. The Jarvan level 2 comes out with the first blood.
Yeah, and absolutely fantastic. Wow, great E from the set. Facebreaker can take a nice chunk off of top baller. And, Set with his sustain is going to be winning out on these trades if they come out even, obviously, because if you have health regen, you're going to win in the end. Oh, just force the flash.
Yep. So full sums, with the exception of Ignite, expended for Kingpin's bot lane. And with Jarvan still lurking down here on the bot side of the map, that could possibly make things difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is worth noting that Annie opted to go for Teleport and Dark Harvest, which is a little unusual. Mostly the I would say the Dark Harvest. Ignite is a little bit more solo QE, and team play. The TP can come in very, very handy. The Dark Harvest really is going to restrict your burst potential pretty significantly until mid to late game, if at all, right? Because Dark Harvest is really useful for chain killing in team fights, right? Like AP Shivana, you're trying to go for the whole team at once, right? So you definitely want the Dark Harvest to hit everybody. But if you're an Annie, you're really just trying to kill one person, which is usually why they opt for Electrocute. So I'm curious if this rune choice is going to come back to bite Mindfox in the behind just a little bit. If she struggles, Flash Facebreaker.
Baller with the nice E, hoping to get out of there. Haymaker will miss. Mandan forced to call off the chase. And a nice...
doesn't even have to flash.
Flash.
He's like, thank you for the jump. I will take it from here. Wow, Jarvan.
Good effort, but...
Yep. Just wasting your own time, buddy.
I did notice that Spunyan on the Misfortune for the first time tonight has gone with the Arcane Comet on that pick, which is good for lane, but not necessarily the team fights.
Yeah, you lose a little bit of team fight potential just for an easier laning phase. I don't dislike it, especially in this specific matchup. That coming in for a gank though.
Interrupt. There's
knocks midair.
Nope. Nice black shield is going to make sure the taunt does not land.
Yeah, very close.
Oops, my finger slipped.
Yeah, but Zach's potential only gets better as he gains levels. Oh, great root. Yeah, the binding for 3 seconds never feels like 3 seconds. Always feels like a lot longer than that. Nice ward clearing by Angry Llama. Overall, though, pretty quiet so far. Beyond the first kill over to the Jarvan, not too much action going on so far. We do see the Ocean Dragon is up. That binding gonna go wide.
I like these constant wards coming out from the side of Zenigma.
Oh, interrupted the E. That's
Push.
okay.
Nice.
That may have been an opportunity to go all in. He
Up in
face
top lane?
breakered and stopped the tall baller's E, which is his only escape. So
Still has flash ready to go though. So
yeah. But
now look at this
you know, if
bot lane setup. Laxter forced elastic slingshot just to get out of the way from Mandan, as all junglers converging in this bot lane.
yeah, I think it's interesting that I don't think either of these junglers have a very easy time soloing Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jarvan has an easier time, but I think he still struggles. It's gonna take him a while, I think, if he tries to do it, and he's gonna get pretty low, I believe. But that's not a problem if your bot lane is here to help you.
Yeah.
Looks like they are going for this dragon on the Zac, but spotted out
Yeah,
by the hawk shot.
I think it'd be forced to back away.
They do have mid pressure,
Mhm.
and he has to reset.
And he doesn't teleport them.
So, right.
So everybody's just jockeying for position here. Spunny trying to get onto Mandan, but a flag and trap get him over. Elastic slingshot used by Laxter to get over the Drake wall. Here comes a taunt. It's only going to catch a Zac. 2 teleports channeled. Who is it going to be? It's going to be the set and
3 teleports
no
channeled.
surprise. Dark Binding is going to miss. It's a 5v5 down here near Tribush. And they're going to move in. It is Ocean Dragon first, so we're not going to be seeing the Ocean Dragon up later. And Zenigma don't want to hand this over just yet. Dark Binding's gonna miss again. That's a key cooldown.
Yeah.
Mandan has vision with the Squire's Blooms. Bunyan trying to keep them at bay. Elite Game stepping up is the set. Probably looking for a big haymaker. Mega Nar's in play with ultimate ready to go on that. Flash forward is going to be Flash Tibbers. Here comes Mandan over the wall. Top Baller is going to catch 3 in the stun. Showstopper coming out late. Big haymaker. Look at the damage coming through. 4 falling, 5 fall on the side of Kingpin. And a beautiful fight is going to give Zenigma Unknown the Dragon.
Yep, that's just a casual 7-minute 38. And, Mindfox is wishing he bought a Dark Seal on that back. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have one. Picking up a triple kill in that fight. Spunnion is very, very sad right now because, Mindfox may not have Electrocute, but when you have 3 kills, probably doesn't matter. You're dead.
Yep. Nicely played there. Huge engage coming out from Top Baller, but then Elite Games replying with the Showstopper, getting that grit stacked, and then unleashing that haymaker is, with the Dark Harvest, with the Dark Harvest putting Annie in the position to mop up those kills.
To be completely honest with you, I did not expect the fight to go that way. I saw Top Baller jumping in with Mega Gnar, with the Gnar ultimate ready to go. I thought that was it. I thought that was gonna be slam dam, team fight on home. But all of a sudden, Set pulls him away. Andy comes in. Oh my, what a turn!
Yep.
Jarvan looking for a play topside.
Yeah, Flash is ready to go on Top Baller. Like this, E ready to go as well. Gonna get out of the Flag and Drag knockup. Just staying alive for the time being. 6-0 the scoreline in favor of Zenigma.
Yeah, this is not the place you want to be if you're Zenigma. Sorry, if you're yeah, my bad. But it's not. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's 4K gold, but it's not unwinnable.
Actually, in the top lane, Top
Gnar
Baller
coming out,
play, but couldn't get him under turret. CS is all in all in favor of Zenigma. You have the set about 10 CS ahead of the Gnar, 10 CS gap basically in the jungle as well. In the mid lane, the bot lane is close to even, so it's little advantages right now. But they're stacking up big as they are sitting on a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Not only are you 6-0 in kills, Flash
Flash Showstopper coming out late. Elite is going to find the kill, But now we have Laxer hoping for a counterplay down in the bot lane. Stretching Strikes is going to catch one. The root is going to land as well, but it's all on the Galio. Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, catches the Morgana. Llama brought low, but Laxer finding some space with the ultimate. A bullet time is channeled. Silvercore can't get the hero's entrance off, but Manon has joined the fight. Where's the Cataclysm? It's going to land right on top of the Zac. A beautiful flash forward from TJ is going to dodge a Dark Binding. Jarvan in trouble. Young Rich Boy trying to continue the chase. Nether Grasp does not come out.
Young Rich Boy. Didn't get in range. I don't think he had the vision.
Nope. Teleport expended too. That's not good.
Yeah, definitely not good. And he not able to get a plate, but does get some extra, CS.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, Solo Bolo in the top lane. Lead games feeling very, very good in this matchup.
Yep. And we thought the Gnar might be more comfortable going in range, but Elite able
I would think so, but he's down CS, he's down kills. Maybe he's either not familiar with the matchup or Elite Games is just cracked out of his mind.
Yep. I mean, Elite Games is constantly stepping up with these face breakers. Mini Gnar does not beat a set when they're in melee range.
Yeah.
And so I think it's mostly just that.
It could just be, placement stepping on top baller, right? If he steps up too far, he gets the face breaker range. If he doesn't have E up, he just takes a full beating because he's not Mega Gnar.
Yep.
But all in all, we do have Cloud Dragon coming up in 40 seconds. Mythics popping up on the side of Zenigma. We see, the bow on Ashe and the Gore Drinker on Jarvan. Annie almost there as well.
So Ruben land in the bot lane, trying to make something happen, but there's a Enchanted Crystal Arrow. No Black Shield coming out just quite yet. A Flash Force out of the Morgana. The Black Shield comes out on the Misfortune. Soul Shackles are broken. Young Rich Boy down here once again. Spunnion keeping up the chase with that strut active. It's not going to result in a kill. And some chunks being taken out of the bot lane, but all in all, Zenigma's bot lane playing it rather well.
Yeah, definitely. And, Recall coming out from the bot lane. Dragon is up. This could be Zenigma's opportunity to grab their second dragon of this game. And Infernal Mountain Soul, once again, both very, very high impact.
Yep.
This could be the edge either team needs.
An Infernal Soul, I would say, would be quite scary, particularly on this Annie for the Misfortune.
Annie. Oh, gosh. And they grabbed Rift Herald. I didn't even notice when they took that. I don't like how directed camera doesn't show Rift Herald.
True.
Maybe a bug, I'm not sure.
Well, hey, it's our fault. We should have just looked at them and see.
Yeah,
look,
I mean,
big
it's my fault for noticing, but I gotta blame Riot, because who am I gonna blame? Me? Heck no. Either way, some plates came in onto the Jarvan. Second dragon over to Zenigma.
Another Mythic is completed on the same members for all teams. It's going to be the Luden's Tempest, now completed on the Annie. Then we see the Leander's Anguish on the Malzahar, the Eclipse rather than Kraken Slayer that we saw on the Misfortune coming up from TJ.
Oh, there it is. Ouchie.
And then the Frostfire Gauntlet completed on the Zac. No real surprise there. But still, it's Zenigma in control of the pace of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh wow, a little bit late on that. Yeah,
we respect those attempts, but now Laxer is moving down. There's a silence. There's another grass. This is going to be a kill for sure. Who is it going to go to? The Zac. And there's another Enchanted Crystal Arrow once again catching out the Morgana. Here's Mandan. This is likely going to be a bad showing for the side of Kingpin's bot lane. At least getting the one kill in answer, but it's a 2-for-1 down the bot lane with another kill to Jarvan's name.
Yeah, Mandan on this Jarvan. He seems very, very comfortable for the pick. I believe he played it game 1 as well.
Yep.
He's all over the map. And it's definitely coming in his favor. Zac still not able to quite match the pressure. Being a good ganking jungler. Probably just because of that, the first blood kill, the cheese from Jarvan. Very, very well played. You see Divine Sunder almost out from top baller. the set has opted for the Gore Drinker. That has become meta. Interesting is that Annie going for Stopwatch second. Um, I'm not sure if I would completely agree with that, just because like you have a lot of frontline, right?
Yep.
So I would assume that you're not in a position where you would need Zanya's, and instead you could go like more damage just to guarantee you kill the. Because think of it this way: if Annie trades 1 for 1 with the Misfortune, that is so huge for Zenigma.
Mm-hmm.
Like Misfortune is the only sustained damage from the side of Kingpin. So if Misfortune is dead, this Ashe has free roam over the entire team fight. But
And Elite is
Set
playing
may be
this
in trouble here.
very roughly, to say the least. But now here comes Mandan to try to buy some time. But Elite is still stuck in the Cataclysm. Doesn't matter. Mandan's going to find the kill. Mind Foe in the middle lane. Annie's Tibber's enraged now. Going to find the kill on the young rich boy. It's a 1-for-1. But all in all, a 2-for-1 across the map in favor of Zenigma.
Yeah, and this gold lead is only growing larger.
Yep.
0-4 in the top lane. And Angry Llama in the bot lane also 0-4. Not where you want to be if you are Kingpin. And he's going to be a Mountain Soul. So coming up in 1 minute 40 seconds, this could be Kingpin's way of surviving the Annie burst.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if Kingpin get it, it's going to be pretty much impossible to return kill the Annie if she goes for a kill on the Misfortune.
Yep. But it's just, if they are going to get Mountain Soul, they need to stack 4 dragons, and there's a lot of fights probably going to happen in between. There's a Dark Binding onto the Ashe to flash forward. Soul Shackles. TJ trying to get out, but not enough. Top Follower is going to find the kill. Teleport channel. It's Mind Foe. And a Showstopper from the set. Teleporting in on the back line. Going to find the kill. Is the Galio. Egrilam just trying to get away, but I don't see that going to happen. Black Shield is just going to buy some time and make sure they don't get that CC score up, but it's still a kill going over to the Annie. 5-2-2 now on that champion.
Yep, and more gold into the pockets of Zenigma before this Mountain's Dragon comes back up. Ooh, man, Jarvan's already on 2 items. He has a full Sterak's Gauge completed. He is the richest man in the game at this point by, no small margin.
Nope.
He's a full 2,000 gold richer than the richest member of Kingpin. And that's just, the power of his early domination across the map.
Mm-hmm. And I got to, I'm in a way disappointed that Kingpin's bot lane fell for it twice. The Jarvan level 2 gank. It's a thing, and it's happened to you. But they still
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Fleet Games is very far ahead of the rest of the team. But they're not going to get punished for it at all. Setting up for this dragon, which is now live.
Nara's topside with no TP.
Yep.
You can't contest it. It's impossible. Like, you're already behind 6k gold. There's no way you can fight 4v5.
Nope.
And that's going to be soul points for Zenigma. 5 minutes. They could be in, most likely going to be securing this Mountain Soul. In which case, Kingpin are going to be very, very hard pressed to make something happen. So but they have this window, 4 minutes 40 seconds, to make a play. Right, you have Zac engaged. Set has no TP, so if he's topside, you have an angle.
Mandan stepping forward. Heal is already popped. That's not good. That's kind of the call to go in for Mandan. There's going to be Spunyan going down in just a second. Yes, it's going to go to the Jarvan. Now 6-0-7. And top baller just walking down from top lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Spunyan gonna get caught out once again. Not looking good across the board. There's a lot of shutdowns at play. So, one fight, one favorable ace could all it takes for Kingpin to get back in the game. The question is, can they find it?
They certainly have the potential with a Morgana and a Zac getting in on top of them. But then it's just like we saw with the Misfortune being played around by the Galio and the Amumu. They can simply play in a way that does not allow you to catch those picks. Speaking of picks, we now see the Nethergrass use, and it's going to be a pick onto Elite Games there up in the red side top jungle. Couldn't even get that Haymaker off. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to convert this into any real objective victories.
Yeah, not bad. Securing the pick on the flashless set, definitely a good play from Kingpin. However, that was the least impressive bounty on the board. You really want to go for this Jarvan. 650 bounty. It's
Unsteady.
tempting for sure. Um, yeah. Bye bye, Spunion.
Yep. And that's you didn't get the shield bow or anything like that. You're sitting on the
Yeah.
Eclipse. So
Yeah. Eclipse gives you a shield, but you actually have to do
Yep.
stuff for it to.
and it's like I don't really
And it doesn't give you time to do stuff.
Nope. And Tibbers is still just wailing away. Angry Llama below half health now, almost killed by Tibbers alone.
Imagine dying to Tibbers.
Oh, young rich boy did earlier, but granted that was full.
Well, I mean, like just a normal
Yeah.
Tibbers, no stun,
Under
no
tower.
any Q, no W. Yeah.
All right. But
Anyway,
Eclipse.
2 minutes, 20 seconds.
Eclipse work again. Okay, it does 6% max health physical damage, but on a range champion, that has a 16-second cooldown. So going up against to the set, the Jarvan, and the Galio, Kraken Slayer, maybe a better choice.
Yeah, and a smaller shield as well.
Yep.
Only
But it looks like
115.
the Misfortune was playing purely for lane pressure, especially with that Comet pick going into the Eclipse. And now we see two members of Kingpin getting caught out. It's going to be Spunion falling once again, Silver Cork securing this kill, and Angry Llama getting away with the expense of their flash.
Yep, welcome back to lane, Spunion. We're going to send you right back to the town.
Well,
at what point have you spent more of the game on gray screen than not? Very, very unfortunate.
But Zenigma is playing into what you said. You take the Misfortune out, and the fight is very hard to win for the side of Kingpin. And this proof is in the
especially
pudding
when your ADC has the shield bow, has the peel options with the Galio, and overall it's a tough position to be in. Are they just gonna go for Baron?
I mean, why not? Well,
No,
okay. Yeah.
It's ballsy. I would. It would be something for sure.
Oh, Mandan might get caught out again. There's Tibbers coming out, and I literally saw that health bar get chunked 3 times and dead.
Yep. Unfortunately, not even able to get the stopwatch off. I don't think it wouldn't have helped her anyway.
Nope.
Angry Llama is going to die there regardless, and that's going to be Baron over to Zenigma.
Yep. And so your Soul Shackle's out of the game. A very strong ultimate in these, objective pits. It's gonna nullify the ability to team fight.
Oh yeah, they don't quite have the damage to do Baron just yet. Understandable. Most of this gold is not on the Ashe. She only has 1 item thus far. But Dragon Soul 20 seconds. Looks like it's gonna be happening for Zenigma. They have the vision control. And they have the gold lead.
All in all, good call. Give it the Baron. You just not guaranteed take set up early around this dragon, force them to come fight on your terms. Mindful needs to be careful here.
They don't have the Tibbers, so potential lead.
They can just play a bit of a stall game here. They are in position first.
Yeah, I mean Tibbers is back up already. So
there's a flash coming out. Elastic Slingshot is not going to land. Root is going to catch TJ, but can they follow up? No showstopper coming out. There's Tibbers. There's Mindful. Unstoppable. Good to find the kill onto the ADC, and that will likely be practically the end of it all for Kingpin in this fight. Angry Llama going to get finished off by Elite Games. There's Laxer falling as well. A double kill on the set. Well executed. It's execution so far is all in favor of Zenigma.
Yep, and that is going to be a 3-0. They're running to the Baron. It's theirs. Gold lead extended to almost 8K at this point.
Yep.
Mountain Soul, look at that shield. It's huge.
Galio was literally drowning in shields right now.
Yeah.
Baron, not
and
quite the Baron.
Locket.
Not quite the Baron take we saw in the first game with 2 Kraken Slayers, but
yeah, it'll do the trick.
Yep.
Slowly but surely.
0 contest. Laxer is nowhere near this, and if they weren't in the pedal to the metal right now for the side of Zenigma as they're in the driver's seat, Root will not land, and a late recall from Mindful, looking for a pick. It's gonna happen.
Oh my god! Bye bye. That's a 9-2 Annie for you.
Yep. I'm just like, sure, there's a black shield to try to prevent the burst, but it doesn't matter when like Angry Llama is likely going to be by Spunion's side walking into these fights, and if you're together, black shield only goes on one of you. And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the damage can even, if the full combo damage from the Annie is enough to both take out the black shield and kill one of these squishies.
I mean, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I think Spunnion is so far behind that it doesn't even matter. At this point, just playing front to back, keeping Chizix alive, and Mindfox can pretty much do whatever. As long as you're throwing tippers down on somebody, they're gonna die. even
Yep.
if it's Top Ball or Zach, doesn't matter.
Unsurprisingly, we have the ye old Gore Drinker Sterix combo on both the top laner and the jungle. There's an Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to come out. Mandin likely following with the Flag and Drag. Yes, it is. Cataclysm not quite yet. It's going to be Silver Core going into the engage. A full channel bullet time does absolutely
nothing.
Galio. And that's going to be a quick kill of the jungler for the side of Zenigma.
Yep, pushing with his Baron, 5 people mid. I think Set should go to the side lane. I mean, he does have teleport. And, the wave clear from Kingpin is pretty significant. I think it's good enough that probably want some side lane pressure. Unless they're just going to force a fight.
We'll see. They're on the backline. Root is not going to land. Top baller is Mega Nar. Spunnion stepping toward that bush with the Annie. Yep, there's going to be the kill. Mine's still going to find the kill. It's going to be the Gnar finding 2 and the stun. Another grass channel onto the set. There's a Sterix shield and a big haymaker. Top baller brought low elastic slingshot into the backline. Is going to find at least 1 kill. But now Laxer is in no man's land with no support from the team. It's not going to be enough. A double kill for the... No, 1 kill. There's a chance to curse arrow, however, flash forward aggressively. It's going to be a kill now for the jungler, Jarvan. Once again, 7, 0, and 15 is Mandin. Feeling great.
Yep, it's 7, by the way. That number didn't seem so big a little while ago, and now it's huge. So this may just be GG. We do have very long respawn timers. Minion wave is here. Not quite enough, though.
Oh, we'll have three cannons. Arrived. And Ash does have a shield bow, but with Annie recalling, I think that's going to be the horn of retreat sounding off. Spunnion, please don't step up. Flank teleport is going to be coming in. The top baller looking for a big play. Does not have Mega Nar ready to go yet. I think that's going to be their downfall. There's the top baller is not even going to be able to transform. Yes, they will, just a stun, but now they're just running for the hills. Hawkshot is going to keep vision on them. A peeling ultimate will only catch the Galio, and that aggressive play will backfire.
Yep, unfortunately, but you gotta give him respect. I mean, at this point in the game, you really just gotta do whatever you can. As Tower is going to fall to the set, slowly but surely.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the rest of the team is just pushing mid.
Laxer goes in with 0 follow-up. Set, there's a flash forward, and the Soul Shackles down his hourglass, but they all break the chains. Mindfoe is going to find another kill, make that another double kill, now finding 2 the bot lane for the side of Kingpin. Nexus open and falling. GG, 2-1 the end of the series, and down go Kingpin's perfect streak, now 5-1, as Zenigma Unknown take the victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Great performance from Zenigma, taking down the champions. Thus far, no one is undefeated anymore.
Nope.
And what a banger last game, gotta say, ending 37 to 9. 32 to 7. Whoa, where did those numbers come from? Let's take a look at the graphics. Annie, no surprise there. Huge damage. Malzahar, quite up there as well. But, Annie, MVP of that game for sure. Just, I mean, honestly, Annie of the Jarvan, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, Jarvan played that early game so well.
Because Annie did great, but, was Annie
the
doing
only
great
reason Annie did good is because of the Jarvan pressure.
Jarvan pressure all across the map.
Hats off to the Mandan. All over the map is Jarvan. Very well played. And perfect record, 8-0-17.
True.
Very clean.
Nicely done by Mandan.
What is that KP? Ridiculous. 817 is 8. That's like 25 out of 32. Wow.
Yep, and that's just showing how Mandan on this Jarvan is able to get around the map and manipulate the game to whatever they desire, giving their lanes the chance to get ahead, like this Annie, 13-2-6, ending the game. That's going to be Zenigma Unknown. Sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
That's how it went. At the end of the day, Zenigma Unknown take the series 2-1. Very well played by them. It was all Spunyon in the second game, but unfortunately, not in as much of a carry position here in this last game, particularly with how Zenigma Unknown were able to play that out. GGWP to both teams, and a congrats to Zenigma Unknown taking the game. That's going to do it for us here tonight. I will rescind what I said earlier. This is not our next week is not playoffs. We still have one more set of regular season games to get through here in the freshman class. Then we go into playoffs after that. And with this, I do believe that makes Kingpin and Zenigma Unknown tied for first place, unless I'm wrong. As far as series go, they're tied. We'll have to see how that determines their seeding. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night to catch the Sophomore League at the same time, same place, 8 o'clock p.m. at twitch.tv/Runeterra Academy. Big shout outs to our producer, Wookie Monster, making everything happen, clicking buttons in behind the curtain. And of course, we can't leave without saying big thanks to our headmaster, Red, making sure everything comes together as a whole and making this entire thing possible. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it, because we on the desk sure did with a series like this. Tajgar, Taj for short, play-by-play, joined by Wee Wizard on the color casting side. Thank you all for joining us, and wishing you all a very good night.
Class dismissed.
Yes.